Hello, propeller heads. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Big Island Airstrip in the beautiful mountains of Idaho, and another rendition of. Hey, all right, Jet Pilot Cinnamon hopping in here. Thanks to the host, man. Another rendition of the Nowhere Fast series. This is day 3, and we're going to actually have a heck of a fun time today. It's probably the longest day, the longest legs that we have. So, enough horsing around. Let's get this show on the road. I do see a couple of other guys down here. I'd like to thank Mike from the Virtual USA Flying Club for putting the word out and getting at least one other volunteer, one other guy crazy enough to join us and have some fun in the backcountry airstrips here, Idaho, and then into Washington State today. And so it should be, like I say, should be a lot of fun. This is the plan of attack. We started out a couple days ago back in central Wyoming, Riverton Regional. We flew up into the mountains and hit Kinky Creek, then into Montana for Metzel Creek. That was day 1. Day 2, the last time we were together, Lewis and Clark Airfield in Idaho, and then this is where we ended up, was right here at Big Island. So the idea here is we're going to make it out to Linden, and Linden Municipal is the home base for the January Bush League backcountry fly-in. Normally, this is not going to really have a destination, but we thought it would be a nice way to kick off a new series by flying from our home airport in Riverton out to Linden, Washington, for that event. So that's kind of what's going on, um, but we're not there yet, and so we're gonna hopefully knock out a couple more legs today, and if everything goes to plan, we'll be that much shorter. We'll actually be just one stop away, and yeah, then we'll be able to make the last leg tomorrow. That's a little bit of a bonus leg there. All right, do the quick check of the fuel. That looks pretty good. Again, I'm doing a lot of these checks here, and I'm really not sure if Carenado or the NH Adrian mod. I don't know if it models any failures over time or not. So I'm just continuing to kind of do these walkarounds. They obviously I'm not a real world pilot, so these are just kind of the things that I have read to do to check and take a look at, and so that's why I'm doing it. Just checking all the surfaces, making sure everything looks like it's in working order. I have not really had a bad landing yet so far. The landings have been fairly smooth. I mean, they're not probably textbook, but um, things have been okay up to this point, so I don't expect to see any damage. But just in case we do, it's nice, I think, to just kind of look around and make sure and check and make sure everything's nice and tight and all that good stuff. So that's why I'm doing this, and I have already set the fuel levels, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Everything else looks good. Tires are looking good, and rattle those guys around. That's all looking good. But just in case, like I say, just in case it does end up simulating something down the road, I want to be able to, just catch it ahead of time. I know some of the planes that I have, they do that. They'll toss a failure out at you, especially if you have like a little bit of a rough landing, and so just again, better to be safe than sorry. Can I access the fuel? No, I can't quite yet. If you haven't seen this mod, it's pretty cool. You can jump in, you can take a look at the engine. There's a way to check the oil. Again, I've never really had anything other than what I see right here, so I don't know if over time that changes or not, but we're checking it every time just in case. And whoops, I'm not quite ready to hop back in. Sorry, guys. Gotta get back out. Darn it. You do have to. There are a couple things that you have to do before you can fly, and one of them is you do have to come out and you have to check, or you have to take the chocks and everything out. So the way we do that is we just take one out and it removes the pitot cover and everything else, and we were supposed to check the propeller. Yep, it's spinning freely. Okay, I think we're close enough, and we're gonna be ready to get this thing fired. So since we have a pretty beefy couple of legs in terms of distance, these are the two longest legs that we have in the entire plan here. I am going to break this stream up in half. We're going to do Big Island to Tightcliff right now. That's going to be, it's a 2.5 hour trip through the mountains, and then I'm going to take a short break, and then I'll come back and we'll do Tightcliff into Stehekin State just a little bit later on. And Ken Pryor checking in. Good morning, Ken. Happy Saturday, my friend. Here's the flight briefing for those of you. I know Jet Pilot Cinnamon. He said somebody else is joining us as well. We're right here. We're gonna depart. It's a downhill departure to the south here to Dworshak Reservoir. We're gonna hang a right. We're gonna make right traffic. We're gonna follow the reservoir up a ways, and it has a little bit of a fork in the road. We're going to stay left, and then it has another fork in the road, and we're going to stay left again. And we're going to attempt to pick and choose our way through this mumbo jumbo over here to Clarica. And what we're really trying to do is pick up the St. Maries River, and then there's a railroad here as well. So it should be a really nice visual aid for us. We'll follow the St. Maries River up all the way around and through into St. Maries, and then from St. Maries we're going to pick up the Coeur d'Alene Lake, and we're going to follow the Coeur d'Alene Lake up to about the midpoint right here, kind of where this western arm, I guess, shoots out. Now I could, if I wanted to, I could just keep going in the lake, and it would take me up to a nice river here. I think this is, I don't remember what river this is, but instead I want to try to do something a little bit different. Since we have the ortho scenery, we're going to try to see if we can pick this up. So about here where the western arm is, we're going to depart at roughly a 304 heading, and we're going to try to see if we can find Liberty Lake. Every one of these on the sectional that has this little flag, that's a VFR kind of reference point. And we'll have Micah Peak over here as well. We'll keep to our right, so we'll know we're heading in the general direction. It's only a 13-mile little jaunt there, so we should be able to find it. And then from Liberty Lake, we're going to try to come over here and find Phelps Field, which is on the north end of Spokane. We're going to attempt to stay out of the Spokane airspace here. That's kind of the main reason why we're picking out these two visual references. And then from Spokane. I don't know why I said Spokane, but from Spokane, we're going to turn west, and we're going to pick up the Spokane River. And there's this big horseshoe right here, and we're going to come back around, and that's where Tightcliff Airstrip is. So that's the plan. That's the flight briefing. If you're following along at home on SkyVector, or if you just join in the chat and you want to fly, I'm going to post that in the chat message right now. And we're going to go ahead and get this bird fired up. So again, it's Big Island is ID 29er, and Tightcliff is 16WA. Thanks for the follow. I missed who that was. I appreciate ZNY _CC. Thanks for the follow. I really appreciate that. Welcome to Prop Culture, by the way. This is one of the things we love to do. We love to do this stuff. So, all right, let's get back in, get going here. Enough chit chat. We're going to take the control lock off. We are going to make sure everything here is off, which it is. We are going to turn the master switch on. Let's just double check our fuel real quickly. Should be just a little over half. Yep, I've got, I think, about 4 hours of fuel in there is what I set, which should be plenty. Let's make sure that the flaps are working. Yep, they're going down. Put those guys back up to flaps 1 for takeoff. We'll make sure that our trim is set for takeoff. Okay, and then we're ready to go. Let's put mixture full forward. Let's crack the throttle. Clear prop. Alrighty. That sounds beautiful. I am going to put the noise canceling headphones on. This stream, by the way, still not sponsored by Bose. Can you believe that? I'm not sponsored by Diet Dr. Pepper or Bose yet. Man, can't get any breaks. Let's put the alternator on. Let's turn the beacon. Might as well turn the nav on as well. That's flaps are set. Radio, we have no ATC right now. Let me just do, actually I closed that, so let me just make sure we don't have any ATC. We didn't have any ATC when I started the stream, so I highly doubt anything has changed in the last 10 minutes, but might as well just check just to make sure. We're in the, I believe we're in the Salt Lake area still. Yeah, we may be up in the Seattle ARTCC right now, but just a peek around, by the way, if you're flying on a Saturday morning, the western half of the United States, actually pretty much all of the USA is kind of crickets right now, man. There's just not much going on. South America, boy, you don't hardly ever see South America not lit up, at least with part of it, but a lot of stuff going on kind of here, Central Europe, Northern Europe, and you know, a little bit of stuff over here. What is this? China? Cool. Nothing happening really in Australia. By the way, prayers for Australia, man. The wildfires down there are just terrible. So if you're from Australia, you're listening. I'm praying for you guys. And yeah, it's what a terrible deal that they've got. They're fighting. We get a little bit of that here where I'm from in Wyoming. Every summer, you know, there's something that catches fire. There's just too much country for it to not. But the scale of what's going on down there is just I can't even imagine. Okay, I need to make sure that my compass, that's pointing west. This is most definitely not pointing west. So let's see if we can get these lined up here a little bit. Okay, I guess I'm going to go all the way around the wrong way. That's almost right on the dot to the west, maybe just a little bit to the north. So let me back it off a couple of clicks here. All right, that should be pretty close, I think. We'll check it again when we line up. I guess I'm going to lead this thing. Like I say, I know there's 2 other guys here, and they actually are in a voice channel. I'm gonna hop in the voice channel and visit with them a little bit on the way. So the destination, Ken, is Tightcliff, Washington. So if you 16 Whiskey Alpha, if you want to kind of take a peek and see where we're heading, it has. Let me share with you something that's kind of cool. Also, actually, Now I'll let you. You can find it, but it's worth looking at on like Google Earth if you have that ability. It's really a beautiful area. All right, so before taxi, compasses are checked, flaps are set, radio set, flight clearance. We don't need clearance because there's no ATC. My navs are set. I don't have any navs. I'm not worried about VOR. It's all pilotage today. We do have some VORs that we can reference if we need to, but so far, so good. In fact, the only time we've used a VOR, it actually led us a little bit astray. That was the very first leg where we went to Kinky Creek in Wyoming. We had a VOR that we had tuned in just for reference, and yeah, it led us in the wrong direction. So let me check in here. Big Island traffic, November 11816. We're at a back taxi for southern departure, Big Island. Kind of down in the muckety muck here, so I need quite a bit of throttle to get going. This is scenery that that I worked on. It's you can find it, and uh-oh, didn't hear me on frequency. Oh, that's not good. So let's make sure we've got everything turned on that we're supposed to have turned on. Ooh, well, actually, a couple things. I don't have that turned on. I'm not 2200, and perhaps this is not on. Oh, that's showing that we're on. Oh gosh, COM 1 needs to turn on. All right, let's try that again. At Big Island traffic, mic check.
Loud and clear.
Okay, November 11816. We're going to back taxi to the north end of the field for southern departure, Big Island. Yeah, make sure you turn your comms on. So that's Mike. That's Jet Pilot Cinnamon. He's from the Virtual USA Flying Club. If you haven't heard about that, go check him out. They've got a really nice group on the Discord, and they do an awful lot of, well, they do a lot of stuff, but they're one of the few groups I've found that has a very, very strong GA focus, and so we've managed to team up, and they've got some events coming up here as well. And yeah, Mike just shared a link to his Discord there. Go check them out. They're a good group, and he actually saved our bacon a little bit when we flew into Big Island. I was down horsing around in one of the little slot canyons, and I thought that that canyon was going to lead me right out to this reservoir, this Dworshak reservoir. And anyway, it actually wasn't going to, and so I may have still been flying if he hadn't got on the comms and said, "Hey, you need to hang a right there, sir. You're missing your lake." Um, you wouldn't think it'd be hard to you know find a lake, but I was about to miss it. I would have missed it if it wouldn't have been for that guy. So it's been kind of that type of series, and the first leg actually up to Kinky Creek, I had somebody else on stream that helped me out. There's a guy named Black Fox 403 that is a friend of the channel that stops in quite often, and his wife Blue Fox 403 was the one that kind of got on the map, and it was very helpful. They got me turned around. They helped me figure out where the heck I was going and where I was wrong, and so yeah. So I've had people on the stream that have helped me out both times. So we'll see if we can if we can make it um, maybe without having so much help this time. But that's okay. I do enjoy that. That's part of this series. Okay, so I'm at the top. Let's check out, or let's check in. At Big Island traffic, November 11816. We'll be departing to the south, and we'll be making right traffic departing the area of Big Island. All right. My altimeter. Oh yeah, let's set the altimeter. Big Island, by the way, 2249. That's our elevation. So we're in the neighborhood. 22, 22, almost 2250, 2200. Oh gosh, I'm at 2400. What am I thinking? 2250, right about there. So 29er, about 29er, 89er. What else? What else? What else? Flaps are set. I'll go ahead and put the takeoff or the landing lights on. Mixture. Oh, I do need to do a quick run up, don't I? Mag drop. That looks good. Shouldn't have announced I was departing until I had all this done. Carb heat. Good drop. I have good suction. I'm making good power. Alright, everything looks good there. All my other instruments look good. Am I leaned out for power? Yep, I'm just about there. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is a really challenging but beautiful departure, so hopefully I'll be able to execute. Let's see what happens. Looking for a rotation speed of about 50. Start to head down the hill, and actually looks like I've grabbed it before we even start down the hill. All right, well that was pretty cool. if you need it, you can get down that hill and get a little speed built up.
Mike taxi. Charlie back taxi to runway Big Island.
We're gonna take a right. Did I say left traffic? I checked in. There's my lake. So Big Island traffic 11816. Right hand crosswind departing north up the lake, Big Island. All of this kind of stuff is what I'm working on. I'm working on radio calls. I'm working on obviously the backcountry flying aspect, flying at altitude, flying into these, different kinds of airstrips, getting to know this plane, the visual navigation aspect. All that stuff is a part of this series. So it's really, really been fun. Flying everything here by hand. I have
124 Mike Charlie is departing Big Island. Gonna be a right turn to the northeast Big Island.
No GPS, none of that stuff. Like I say, if I need to, we'll pull the VOR and chase a radial if we need. But I'm really just trying to do it via pilotage. And I already feel like okay, there's my lake. So I'm going to climb to, I have filed 8,500 as my final altitude here, and I'm not in any big hurry.
Traffic, Cessna 65 back taxi on way, Big Island.
Not in any big hurry to get there. I don't.
Big Island traffic, Cessna 124 Mike Charlie in the right turn. Following the reservoir, Big Island.
Sweet. I don't need any more than about 4,500 here initially. I will need 6,500 when I make the turn off the lake here though. So that's kind of what I'll get going here. About a 500 foot per minute climb is pretty good. The book recommends something between 75 and 85 for the en route climb. Whoops. Let's not do that. But I've found at altitude that's kind of a tough ask for this little plane. So so what we're looking for is the first fork in the road. We're going to stay left, basically at each one of those forks. And let's turn the landing light off. Got our power pulled back to 2300. That looks good. Everything else, pressures, temps, all looking good. Making good power over there.
Big Island traffic, Skyhawk 65, better depart by the way, negative right, down departure to the north, Big Island.
All right. So let me go. I'm going to pop over to the voice channel also. This will be kind of fun. This is a new feature here that we haven't done before, but it's kind of fun to jump in and visit with these guys. Hey guys, how we doing?
Hey buddy, what's going on?
Thanks for joining me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
I can always use extra eyeballs up here, so greatly appreciate it.
Yes. Figured that out the other day.
Yeah, that was really, you saved me a lot of wandering around. That was very, very helpful.
Well, I had the luxury of, like I said, having been in that area already, knowing you were coming, kind of scattered.
Yep, it's good to know people.
What's your indicated?
I'm clipping right about 70 knots.
Okay, I'm gonna come right up your butt then. Let me slow down.
Yeah, no, not a problem, not a problem. I'll be probably fastest I get going in this thing is about 90.
Gotcha.
It's not often that the Skyhawk is the fastest plane in the group here, guys, but you guys are gonna have to be powering back for me.
Yeah, I'll probably just leave a notch flaps in. That'll work.
Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to mute just because I know it's kind of confusing when you're in the voice room and also listening via stream, but I'll kind of bounce back and forth when I'm going to narrate what we're doing. Then I'll just hop back in and have conversation with Mike and Chris, it looks like. So That'll be good. We're looking for this first little little fork in the road, I guess. I'm gonna get up to 4,500. I'm gonna level out, pick up a little bit of airspeed, and then we'll start to look. It's really not a very long. I mean, this first little stretch was only about 8 miles, so we're probably, in all likelihood, probably getting there. It's hard to tell though. I haven't seen anything heading off that direction just yet, so I don't think we've missed it. And again, the idea here is we're going to just stay left. We get to the fork, stay left. We get to the next fork, stay left. And if worst comes to worst, if we do happen to not, whether it's not rendered correctly or whatever, and it probably will be because this ortho has been pretty accurate. But if let's say we miss our turn, we can just turn once we're clear of the terrain. We can head west, and we'll pick up that river, that railroad. It's only about 15 miles to our west is really that St. Maurice River. So, but I'd sure like to stay on the lake as long as I can. Well, I'm sorry that the scenery didn't quite work out for you, Mike, but I appreciate you trying, and that's going to be good information for me to know, because part of what I'd like to do on this is be able to share those airstrips, but it looks like you're going to have the ortho for that to happen.
Yeah, when I put it in, and I have no ortho at all, so I put it in and it was corrupted as all hell. I just
Dang. Okay. And
It
I guess
basically trapped me in like a box. It almost like literally the scenery squared me off in that little spot, and it didn't look anything close to what yours looks like.
dang it. Well, all right. Okay. All right. I think I see our first little fork in the road, and I'm gonna go. I think that I'm gonna need. Looks like we might need 5,000 plus. So I'm gonna keep climbing a little bit here. I have kind of got up to about 80 knots, but it'll be dropping again.
Roger that. I'll
Yeah.
get my climb going as well.
I see in the chat, the virtual USA flying chat, I do have Slant Alpha already giving me a hard time. Oh no! What in the world? Unexpected. Oh boy, that scared me there. I just had a little bit of an error pop up. I'm a little bit gun shy right now, because the last time I flew, I actually had my computer completely blue screen of death crash on me. I've never had that happen in X-Plane. I've had it happen a few times in well, it was FSX. I haven't had it happen since I moved to P3D and X-Plane, but so I'm a little nervous. You kind of like, I definitely don't want that to happen again. But that was a bad deal. I was right at the top of descent, and just getting ready to transition into an airfield, and everything went bye-bye.
Well, if you disappear, I'll have to take the lead then.
Absolutely. I've given you the coordinates there, and that was kind of back to Slant Alpha talking smack. Somebody's like, what in the world? So I shared those same waypoints on the virtual USA Flying Club chat, and somebody's like, what the heck is that? Looks like oceanic waypoints. All right, here is this another? Yeah, I think this might be our turn here. All right, so we're essentially, guys, I'm gonna try to hit about 180, or sorry, 285-ish, 280-ish. Just head to the west, and I'm gonna try to pick up the St. Maurice River, and then there's also a railroad track. Hopeful is going to be a pretty obvious thing for us to grab.
All right, I see you making the turn. I got you.
Okay. I was pretty happy with what the ortho has looked like and kind of given me for visuals so far. It's been pretty good. The rivers especially have been nice, and so this one ought to be pretty good as well. I don't know necessarily that the railroad tracks have been super duper obvious, but a lot of times they'll render kind of as roads anyway. So yeah, it's been okay. All right, our way. Let me check on chat, see if anything else is going on there. Ken Pryor has found it, found where we took off from, and found where we're heading to. Hey, and Downwind Sim is checking in. Downwind is right now neck deep in scenery work. Downwind, we really have to give him a huge thank you because without him, the Bush League backcountry events really are not they're not the same. So he's been in cleaning up some scenery and putting things together. He actually is cleaning up one of my messes that I made for him, which was really nice. That's what friends do. We try to help each other, right? We no, but anyway, so he's been working for like the last 2 weeks trying to get that event ready to go, and he's got stuff. If you go to downwindsim.com, you can see what we have going on, and there are some things to install if you're planning on flying in the event on Monday night. You don't have to install them, but they just help make the airports look like they a little more closely to what they really truly are. And they especially help the backcountry airports, the turf strips and stuff like that. And Bill, the drug dealer one, checking in. I enjoyed watching your stream there this morning, young man. It looked like a fun game, kind of a I don't know, like a Grand Theft Auto type of game, but lots of action and just you guys. Yeah, it was like a bunch of one-liners, one after the next. It's a funny group that you guys have going. Um, let's see. Yeah, what else is going on here? Ken Pryor just saying hello. So yeah, good group to start with here on a Saturday morning. Well, might not be morning where you're at, but good group. Oh, I forgot to mute the chat mic. Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
You're
You can
getting a.
set up a push to talk too.
I
When
need to.
Can't set
I'm
make it
gonna do
easy.
that. I'm gonna do that right now. I thought I had that set up.
It's all good.
All right. Not sure if I got that set up correctly here, but that's kind of important. Push to talk. What do we want? We want. I think that button right there is good. Okay. That's not working now. Why? All right. Never mind. I'm gonna have to just mess with that here later on. All right, drifting a little bit here, kind of more to the south than I want, but that's okay because I can
Not
miss.
gonna lie, I almost stalled out by accident.
Oh no. Yeah, not good. I can miss a little bit south, but I just don't want to miss north. Here's why. So when we made this turn, if I'm flying 270, I'm still going to hit the river and the railroad track and all that good stuff. But if I miss this far, I'm not going to hit anything. So I'm going to err on the side of being a little bit too far to the south. I don't quite need to be that far south. Again, just a 15-mile leg here. We do have a peak at 5750. I'm kind of thinking that might be it. We right now are 6,500, so we should be plenty clear of all terrain. And we're shooting for, it looks like there's a little, I don't know if this is a little community, Clarkia or not, but there's a lumber mill, so I'm hopeful that there's going to be a few buildings that we'll see here as well as we pick up that airfield. I do have the weather set to clear. We talked about that last stream, basically just because it's winter in the mountains, and so I don't want to have to wait. I need to be there by Monday, so I don't want to have to wait for weather to clear to fly these routes. In the future, I think we'll probably fly with more real weather conditions. And then the other thing I have is I have it set for noon local time, And again, not a big deal today, but in future flights, I may have to be like, it might be 8 o'clock in the evening where I'm at, and you obviously can't fly these types of airfields in the dark. So just a couple of artistic liberties, I guess. I hope you'll allow for those. And all right. So we'll get leveled out. Like I say, 8,500 is filed.
Oh, Chris, you're like right on me there, below me. You see me up here?
Yeah, I got you inside. Just
See
5
if
minutes
I
away. If I got whole power back.
I don't know if I can see these guys. Yep, I see them behind me. Cool. That's an awesome shot right there. Let's see if I can keep it level long enough for them to fly past as well. We'll hold it here just for a second. Nope. Thought maybe if I held that camera view long enough, we'd be able to see those guys fly past as well. Okay. We should, if we hit this right, we should pretty well kind of be straight into the St. Maries River. We're looking for a lumber mill. We're looking for a little town. We're looking for a railroad track. It also looks like there's a road here too, so we should have plenty of visuals to help us out. I am trying to get trimmed to level off here, and I continue to climb just a little bit, so I'd be happy with 6,500 right now. And as always, when we're flying these flights, you know, what I'm finding is just general terrain features like low spots between the mountains. Those are always good to sort of keep in mind, because the rivers are going to follow those areas, and generally speaking, any roads in the area are going to kind of also follow that. And so if you maybe lose sight of your river or your road, you're not wrong to kind of aim for those just temporarily. Now if you're in amongst the mountains, obviously that's a whole different deal, because you don't want to just be flying up some canyon, because you can get boxed in and that can end up being a really bad situation. But for us, I'm kind of feeling like we're
doing about 80 indicated with the flaps dropped a notch, Chris.
Yep, I've got myself I've got 83 right now, guys. I'm cooking.
Check.
Okay, I don't know why, but my push to talk just is not working.
I think you got unmute. Even with the push to talk, you're still muted.
Yeah, even though test 1 2. Now, I have had it working once or twice before, but I'm still pretty new.
You're muted in the Discord, as in you have the microphone slashed out.
I do. So do you unmute that and then do push to talk?
Yeah, so you unmute that, and then you would, whatever your push
Okay.
talk button is, you push it, and that's when you'll talk, and it won't be voice active.
Oh, okay, there we go. All right.
There you go.
As usual, Mike coming through. Thanks for the tech support, man.
I had to learn the Discord myself first too, so you know, practice makes.
There you go. Part of me is just hanging around. What's that old saying? You never want to be the smartest person in the room. Well, this is the case today, so that's good. It's always good to have these young talented guys along, helping the old man get from point A to point B. All right, welcome Gus Bus 035. How are you, my friend? Good to see you again. Welcome to the mountains of Idaho. Welcome to the Nowhere Fast Tour. We're heading from Big Lake, Idaho into Tightcliff, Washington. So that'll be pretty cool. It's going to be a fun lake. This Tightcliff area, it's well, geez, I feel like a broken record, and I just keep saying more and more and more that wow, this is incredible country. Wow, this is incredible country. Wow, this is but it just is, and that's part of the reason why I'm doing this series is just to be able to see new parts of the country. So part of after I get to Linden and we do the fly-in on Monday, I want to open it up for people to kind of suggest places to go. Like if you're familiar with the Washington area or really anywhere up and down that Pacific Northwest, if you've got a cool airstrip that I need to visit, one of those got to check this out type of deals. I'm hoping that people will recommend those things, and because that'll be the ultimate um, plan basically is just to decide from day to day where are you going to
I
fly.
got a recommendation for one that I'm partial to on Long Island, which is 23 November.
23 November.
Yeah, Bayport on Long Island. It's a grass strip. It's a 37-foot grass strip on Long Island that I've been to before in real life. I've landed on it in a 172.
Noted. I've got that in my notes. Awesome. Thanks, man.
There's also a YouTube video on the specific ways to get into and out of it, which I'll share with you.
Ah, very good. See, there you go. That's the kind of thing I'm hoping for, and because that's what I'd like to be able to do. All right, I see a road, and I'm guessing we have a road and we have a railroad. I am not yet really picking up any kind of St. Marie's River Creek, but I think we're in the right neighborhood essentially, and that matches up pretty well with our time. It was about a 15 nautical mile leg, and we were thinking about 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm going to call this, is this Clarkia? Who knows? There's supposed to be a lumber mill or something around the area. Hard to tell sometimes when you're just looking out. I could see there being definitely lumber work, logging and stuff in this area with all the trees. So we'll continue to follow. This could potentially be a river. Let me nudge my way over to the right just a little bit. That St. Marie River and the corresponding road and railroad track is pretty important to this first part of this flight here. That puts us on the right path. It's roughly 297 is what my Sky Vector is telling me here. So, I think we're heading in the right direction. I'm gonna go ahead and restart my timer. This next leg, so the St. Marie River. So I think we're just about right here at Clarica. We're gonna follow this, and then it hangs a hard right here, and that gets us up to the Coeur d'Alene Reservoir. So, or lake, I guess. I don't know if it's a reservoir or lake. Yeah, there's our river. So this is a 20-mile lake. So we'll just using rough math here. 80 knots is about 100 miles an hour. So you can kind of do the math. That should get us there. In about 15 minutes or so. 23 November. All right, there we go. So now here's the kicker. Is that means I have
Chris, I slowed down a little
to fly from Linden, Washington, all the way out to New York. Hey, there we go. There's our road and our railroad. So that's rendered pretty well, actually. That looks nice. All right, let's see what the guys behind me look like. See if I still have them in sight. Yep, there they are, just off our left-hand wing. You can see them behind me. That's pretty darn cool. Okay. So we're looking for this particular river, like I say, to hang a right, and then that'll be we'll be really close to Coeur d'Alene, and then yeah, Coeur d'Alene Lake, and then from Coeur d'Alene Lake, that's when we're going to pick and dodge and weave our way through a couple of airspaces, Class E, Class Echo, and Delta, I think. Anyone confirm what the Spokane airspace is? Delta, I believe. Nope, it's a Charlie.
Spokane's a Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. So, if I'm not mistaken, and again, you can help me out with this, Chris and Mike, or anybody else that's on the chat, you don't necessarily have to check in when you are flying through a Class Echo, but you do need to request permission into a Charlie.
Yeah, if you're gonna actually be in a Charlie or Delta, you need to request permission to transit that Charlie or.
Cool, cool. Hey, and Chicken0341 checking in here. Can I fly the Netherlands? You know what? I have flown in there. I love that. That's actually, I love the area there. I need some recommendations though for scenery. Chicken0341. Do you know where I can get like what kind of ortho can I make up there? What's a good, like, I don't know, or is there a good mesh that's available? Because I'd love to be up there and fly around. There's some awesome countries, or awesome country, awesome airstrips up there. And Kenny Monster checking in here. I just want to say good luck. We're all counting on you. It wouldn't be a flight without an airplane reference. Love it. Don't call me Shirley. All right, so I still have sight of the road and the railroad, and I kind of have lost sight of the river. No, it's still down there, winding and meandering there. The St. Marie River. Roger, Roger. Vector, what's your vector, Victor? What a great show. I love that show. It's really sad how much of my normal everyday conversation is just simply nothing more than movie quotes. My wife and I, we joke that we almost have a secret language, and we just have to quote movies and we know exactly what's going on. Downwind. Downwind, shouldn't you be cranking on scenery or something? Come on. All right, I'm gonna have to pull this. I'm gonna attempt to pull this video up here. I want to do something first before I get. Okay, so it's 8 minutes long. All right, so I've got the approach and departure from Bayport Aerodrome, which is what Mike was sharing. That's the 23 November. I want to get on Coeur d'Alene Lake though, so where I'm not having to.
That video is ridiculously like poorly made, but
Oh yeah.
it'll get you all the information.
Okay, I'm excited, man. That's the kind of thing. Again, it's that local knowledge, and when you know how it is when you're traveling around, you stop and talk to the old guy, and they're like, "Yeah, you know, the place you need to go is right up here." Maybe it's the fisherman in me. I'm always looking for a different spot to, a different secret spot, I guess. And so this is what I hope to find, is just stuff just exactly like this. So I appreciate that. All right, so here is a little bit of a community. What is that? I suppose we should check on our chart and see. There are some towns, Fernwood and Santa, kind of along the way here. It does look like Santa. Well, which way am I going? Am I going too far to the north? No, 297. I need to continue on this area up here. Lake Coeur d'Alene, I'm hoping, is just up here over the top of there's a 5,400 foot peak up here somewhere. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's the town or community of Santa, or if that's the community of Fernwood. but I do see a couple of those on the chart. Still kind of tracking our road, and I think that's still our river. I think we're doing okay. Yeah, Kenny. So Kenny Monster feels the same pain as me. Just the same. His family's always asking him, always movie one-liners. Yeah, I mean, why not? What's the point in investing all that time watching and rewatching movies and TV shows if you can't break out the appropriate one-liner? So I was listening to the Dan Lebitard show. I enjoy sports talk radio as well. I'm an old coach, and so I like to tune into that kind of stuff. But anyway, they've kind of created their own little, I guess, language as well. They use their own little pop culture references, and anyway, it's gotten to the point where like legit sideline reporters are working in little Dan Lebitard phrases into their interviews, and so um, yesterday when I was running around listening to the show, they had clips of like the 5 best interviewers that nailed the Dan Lebitard. I don't remember what they were calling them, but like, has the good, or he's the dude, or just little phrases like that, kind of like what you're doing when you're quoting movie references. But that's I thought that was really good. That guy, I love that show.
And Mike, what's your speed?
Hold on. My speed dumped again. Sorry.
Oh no.
That's what I get for looking at the scenery.
Yeah, guys, and I'm just a little under 80 knots right now.
Check your left side of it.
Ooh, gosh, I had a notch of flaps out here still, guys. Sorry, I'm gonna scream like a F-16 now.
Yeah, I see. Sorry, that's on me.
No, I just forgot to look through my after checklist, or after takeoff checklist. That's on me. All right, so here we go. Yeah, watch us. We're gonna
Oh,
absolutely.
you're off to my right too. Shoot.
We're gonna race right up to like 83 knots. I was wondering why we weren't getting up above flap speed. Well, that would explain why. Ken Pryor, Downwind Sim on the stream chat is giving Ken props for being pretty sharp with his comebacks. Ken Pryor did do the old "Don't call me Shirley," and then Ken saying, "Hey, it's pretty rare for me to be sharp." um, oh yeah, Kenny, you watch that show? Yeah. Well, he does, and when any of those guys do that, that's
That was
I'm
not
with
me,
you.
Chris.
They get political. Then it's time to kind of tune into something else. It's too bad. I have no autopilot in this bad boy, so um, it's just Manuel flying. My friend Manuel and I are flying. This mod though does have the ability to you can toss in an autopilot along with the default um, X-plane. I think it's the 530 GNS 530. So you do have that ability. I'm just flying it as basic, bare bones as I can. All right, so we are 11 minutes on this leg of a 20-mile leg that we were thinking would take us about 15 minutes. Ooh, look at my airspeed. Holy cow. I'm over 90 now. All right, guys, I'm cooking with butter. I'm making like 92 knots. Wow.
Oh, let me pick it up a little bit myself.
Wow. How about that? That reminds me, one time I was flying I was flying a 170, and I was trying to keep up with Agent Bravo 7. I think she was in I don't know, she was in something that was a little faster, and I could not, for the life of me, keep up with her, and I had everything maxed out. Well, it turns out I noticed, kind of like I did when I was looking around, I'd been flying with flaps 1 the whole time. So would think after doing that once I would learn, but that's, as my friend Downwind Sim would say, that's why they have checklists. Okay. Now, why do I see a lake here? Have I must have cut the corner a little more than I thought. Oh, we may be running into Coeur d'Alene. Either that or I followed a different river. I'm not sure, but I'm almost thinking this sucker runs quite a ways. I think we maybe
Hey, Mike, what's your indicator?
90.
we may have accidentally found Coeur d'Alene Lake, which is not bad. We want that, but I was
I
expecting
think
us.
that is the lake we're looking for up there.
Yeah. I must have drifted a little further to the north than I thought, but yeah, that's not a bad thing. This is a good waypoint for us. All
Yeah,
right.
isn't the airport just to our left here?
All right, so I was expecting us to follow this road and then
Yep, yes,
take a
I
little
see
bit of a right.
72. Yep, that's lake.
And then we should have, there's a Sky Island airport here. So we're going to follow the Coeur d'Alene Lake. All right, so let me see if I can. I may not have enough time here. This is only, yeah, I'm not probably going to have enough time. So I've got like a little bit of an 8-mile, like from the beginning of the lake to the corner, it's 8 miles, and then up to the middle here is about 8 miles. So I'm going to hold off on the video here for just a little bit. We're not going to worry about setting our timer because we can just literally follow the lake. And we're looking for, sorry to keep pulling this back out in front, but we're looking for, when we get up in here, we've got this little western arm, and when we see that, that's when we're gonna turn. You know, I've got 304 here, but we're looking for Liberty Lake. And again, if I can find Liberty Lake and I can find Felts, I can stay in between well, I can stay north of the Charlie airspace and not have to worry about, you know, any kind of a check-in. Still no ATC to speak of, but I think it's just always good to kind of keep that in mind. All right. Also, Kenny, you flew a little propeller-driven aircraft this morning yourself. That's cool. Rocksteady, yeah, well, or something, I think is what they flaps one. Just when I thought I was going to get some props from the unofficial CFI of the Melvin Leroy channel, Downwind Sim, he was about to hang a Rocksteady he was about to hang a Rocksteady label on me, and then now I'm back to flaps one. That's okay. Moniker. That's the word I'm looking for. I really need to work on my vocabulary skills. Whoa. Let's see if we can find the boys again here. Yep, I see one of them off. Yep, there they were. They're still behind us. Might grab a couple more screenshots. And okay, so yeah, we've drifted a little bit here. So we're heading up the lake, looking for that western arm. We find that western arm, we're going to shoot out there at about 305 northwesterly heading, which really isn't a whole heck of a lot different than we are right now. So as I'm looking around, I'm seeing again we should have, there's Micah Peak. That's a waypoint there, and we're looking for Liberty Lake. But first we're looking for that western arm of Coeur d'Alene Lake. If only you spent any time near a school of some sort. Well, unfortunately I do spend a little bit of time near schools in my other life, my day job life, which I'm gonna get back to here come Monday. Yeah, Christmas break is wrapping up. This is the last weekend. Been a good break. Okay. No. I understand what you're saying, Trax. I always tell the kids, yeah, I'm a math teacher. So, and then when I make a mistake with my math facts, then I tell the kids, I'm not a numbers guy. I'm more of a concepts man. They don't buy it. Even middle school kids, they don't buy it. Kenny Monster said that there is an emote. Oh, that's an emote idea. Rocksteady. I like the Flaps 1 emote. There's got to be a Flaps 1 emote created, and I know just the guy to do it. Mr. Blender himself. He doesn't have enough other things on his plate. I am pretty slow. There's no doubt. And Al Sal checking in. Welcome aboard, Al. Al, I thought you were a completely nocturnal creature. At least for the last couple of months, you've sort of been that way. Like, no sign of you during the day. You pop up at like 1 o'clock in the morning your time, though. How are you, my friend? Okay, so my plan here... I don't think this is quite the western arm. This looks like a pretty big... Like, as I look at this, it looks like it really reaches out there, so I think this is going to be pretty obvious where we want to turn. So I don't think... You know, I guess this could potentially be it. Al South is mostly nocturnal. So I don't think... It doesn't look like I'm going to need any more than 6,500 as I head toward Tightcliff, which is good. So the other thing that we're going to pick up here is the city of Spokane, which in the intro I called Spokane, which nothing makes you sound like a guy that is not from around here than mispronouncing things. But that's going to be another... It's going to be another pretty good visual reference. We should be just skirting the north end of it. Mix of fruit bat with possum. So potentially, I guess what I'm looking at here is maybe this is Micah Peak, or this is Micah Peak. 'Cause I do think this looks like that western arm here that we need to be...
I think you're right.
Yeah, we need to be looking for. So 304... But the thing of it is that's, according to my sky vector, I need to be to the left of that. So, all right. So right now I'm going about 290. So I think I'm gonna head kind of a little bit more due west. I'm gonna make sure that I get Micah Peak off my right hand wing, and then I will head up. I think basically, I think Liberty Lake is just kind of right on the other side of Micah Peak. So let's just, instead of worrying about headings, let's just aim for Micah Peak, and let's just go around the back side of it and see if we can pick up that lake. This is either really, really bad pilotage or really, really good pilotage. We're going to find out. I'm at a little over 66. Micah Peak, according to the chart, is 5,200. So yeah, that looks appropriate. Well, one way or the other. So here's now. Go ahead,
guys.
Morning.
How's it going?
Going good. Thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah.
So I do have. There's a 5,200 foot
Got you on radar there,
lookout.
going over some mountain.
Yeah, and Micah Peak. So one or the other of these little terrain features is what we want. So
Which airport's 16 Washington?
16 Whiskey Alpha. Yep.
Which airport is that?
That's Tightcliff.
Okay. How's the weather?
We're cheating it clear.
I was gonna say, I'm looking out the window. I don't know about.
Yeah, we part of the deal with I'm kind of bound to a little bit of a deadline to make it up into Linden, Washington by Monday, so I had to cheat on the weather. But I've been telling everybody it's just so people can enjoy the beautiful scenery here as we fly. Really,
Absolutely.
truly, it's also to help me because, like I mentioned last time, this is a different plane with a little bit of wind. Even not much wind, but a little bit. So Kenny Monster's talking about how you get seasick in these birds, and yeah, you can get a little bit, even from a sim, you can get a little bit of motion sickness. That's one
Like
thing.
I said too, we'll have to get you guys into Fish Lake sometime.
Well, what's those location, or what's the identifier of that one?
Sierra 92. It's up in the Selway Bitter Wilderness. It's no go around approach.
All right, I'm making a note of that. That's my kind of thing. Thanks, man.
Yeah, and it's not like flying up in Canadian Rockies too, where you have those fat valleys. This is like if you miss your turn, you're.
I love it.
But then south of that, there's two more that have the hazardous marker on.
Yeah, that's as I was planning this route. That's what I kind of started looking for is those ones that had the little quote or parentheses with hazardous. I'd never seen that until I started planning this.
Yeah, there's 3 of them in Idaho.
Awesome. I can't wait to check it out. So Al South is saying, hey.
Also, it's not considered hazardous, but Meadow Creek in Montana is really up in the Bob Marshall Wilderness.
Noted. Can't wait to find it or check it out. So Al South is wondering why we're not flying the Kodiak.
Montana local. That's how he knows.
Awesome. So Justin, I don't know if you were here for the beginning of it, but that's one of the things that I want when I'm flying around is in this is called the Nowhere Fast series, and I want people just like you that have these little secret hotspots, these little secret places, man. I'm hoping people will give those up so I can fly in and out of those, and so I appreciate that.
For sure. Happy to give you the scouting report.
Titanium Druid, welcome to Prop Culture, man. Glad to have you. This is what we do. We're a bunch of backcountry Bush League guys, and not Bush League, Bush hooligans, I think we've been called. And yeah, we just fly around and try not to break our airplanes by flying into places that are sort of hard to fly into. So welcome.
Those are all airports, though. In real life, you need a good instructor that's been there a lot. And then we have density altitude issues in the summer. Well, the only time you can get in these.
Yeah, that's the other reason why I'm kind of cheating, even though X-Plane doesn't really do weather per se like seasons. But that's the other reason. Half of these airports that I've flown into and out of, I don't think they would be open right now in early January.
Not so much.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that either.
Okay, so we're attempting to find Liberty Lake, and what we're doing is we're just zipping around the backside of Micah Peak, which we feel is.
I flew the same route just about close to that to Spokane last night on a DC-3. It was really fun.
Oh heck yeah, I love the Goonie Bird, man. That's some good stuff.
It sounds like you guys use X-Plane, but for P3D and FSX, there's a really good freeware C40. It's just awesome. You need it.
You're talking about the Manfred John Visser one, aren't you?
Correcto. Yes, sir.
Yep, I have that, and then I took the port over that they put for X-Plane. I have that now in X-Plane too. It's a beautiful, awesome aircraft. You're right. I can't believe it's free.
Oh, I know, right? Like almost everything works on it. It's like this isn't what do you call it, Carenado or anything.
Honestly, it's the same way that I can't believe the Zebo 737 is 3 for X-Plane.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Absolutely right. All right, we need seasons. You're right. We need them, but yeah. So that's the whole kicker is. I mean, there's more to it than just putting snow on the ground. It's a lot of work. I have faith in Mr. Laminar and his research team. They'll figure it out. I think I see a lake, gentlemen.
So you guys aren't quite to Coeur d'Alene yet, right?
Now we're just around the north side of Coeur d'Alene. We're heading into Liberty Lake, and then we're going to shoot to Phelps Field.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I see a
Just
lake.
meet you at Liberty. It's not far.
Yeah, we're getting close actually. Just trying to stay north of the Charlie airspace and out of everybody's way. So yeah, Titanium Druid. This is what the channel is basically about. It's propeller driven. It's GA stuff. It's backcountry, a heavy dose of backcountry. It's trying to navigate VFR, pilotage. If we have to use instruments, we jump on and we do slant alpha stuff, where we track VORs and we do the old school navigation. I have to admit, I've got a little bit of a guilty pleasure, and that's around the vintage airliners. So I currently am obsessed with the FlyJSim 727, but every now and again you'll see me hop in a DC-8 or an L1011. We just were talking about the DC-3. That's another one of those vintage birds. So, but yeah, this is to say there's some GA on this channel. Yeah, I think that'd be accurate. Maybe more than some. So if that's your thing, man, welcome aboard. Good to have you. Appreciate the follow. By the way, Chicken0341, you followed me back a little while ago, and I was kind of in the middle of something. Appreciate you hopping aboard. It's a good group. And here's kind of the regulars. They're good guys to get to know. Yeah, glad to have you. Titanium Druid's all about the GA. Well, you'll fit right in here, my friend. Okay, so from Liberty Lake,
Chris, looks like we gotta come a little bit right.
I was estimating that we'd be heading out here about 290, 292, and we're looking for a Phelps Field. And then, but again, I'm gonna just kind of be looking for the city and just trying to stay to the north of the city. And then, boy, we're just about there. We got to head west. We got to pick up the Spokane River and make it around this big horseshoe. And we're there. We are there. We've made really good time here. They were anticipating this taking, SkyVector was telling me this was going to take 2.5 hours, and we're only an hour and 15 into the total stream, and that includes the walk around. So maybe we will not take a mid-stream break. Maybe we'll just keep it rolling. We've got a good group here. We might just keep going. All right, so I'm not exactly flying right over the lake, so I'm gonna have to instead of 292, maybe I'll looking more at like a 300. It looks like I have a. I wonder if this is any chance that's actually the Spokane River. Doesn't really say. There's the city, so I just need to stay north of the city, and then we'll just start looking for Phelps Field. I am starting to cut a little bit of altitude as well. For the guys that are following me, Tightcliff is 1,855 feet, so I'm gonna just slowly over the last, about 30 miles here is all we have. I'm just gonna start to descend and get rid of a little bit of altitude. So I am gonna set my timer though, just because it gives me a little bit of a feel for when we should be getting to Meade. Actually, no, Meade is the private strip that's north of Phelps Field. 14 nautical miles is what SkyVector is telling me to estimate. Okay, heading up a little bit further north. Get the lake behind me, more at my 6 o'clock, then I can gradually make back to about a 292 heading. Chat, we have a river here. That would be awesome. I think, according to SkyVector, it looks like the Spokane River, though, comes kind of around from the west edge of the city. So I don't know what this particular river is. Liberty Lake at my 2 o'clock. Okay, so Trax 360. Hello, by the way, Trax 360. So did we find a different lake then? He's thinking this might be Liberty Lake over here. Okay. Well, I do see we have several lakes in the area. And I'm definitely not north of the city limits, as you can see. I hope I'm not. And here's maybe one place where it'd be good to tune in a VOR. Do I have a Spokane VOR so I can see how close I am?
Skipping out on me on the void.
I mowed past it. Okay, so
Nope.
Trax is saying we had it. We found it. Okay, good deal. I thought we located it okay, but always good to have confirmation. All right, so I think we're getting kind of to the north edge of the city limits here. I think I see a little bit more of a little part of the city. We're kind of going at that generally 290 heading, 14 miles. We're making almost 90 knots, so that should be only about 8 or 9 minutes for this leg. And we really need to start getting ourselves down, because we're still 6,000 feet. We need to be down below 2,000. Pull back on a little power here. Don't have to do that very often in the 152. Triple digits, 100 knots, only on the descent. There's our guys behind us. There's the beautiful city of Spokane, Washington. All right. Well, somewhere up in this part of the city is where, like on the kind of the very, very north edge, is where Phelps Field is, according to the sectional. So we're gonna just keep vectoring ourselves a little bit more north until we see that. And then the biggest thing here is we want to be just staying north of the class Charlie. I don't really care about necessarily finding the field per se. I just want to stay north of the Charlie, because then when we find it, we can turn west and we can intercept the Spokane River. Let's see, Phelps Field, what's the ICAO? It's
I think I got you guys on radar. You're probably right around Coeur d'Alene, right?
70 Sierra. Oops. So, yeah. Again, we get up here kind of this north edge, we should, even if we don't see the airfield, that's when I'm going to start turning back to the west.
Oh wait, never mind. Spokane Valley.
Spokane Valley, okay, cool. Alright, good deal, thanks.
Justin, make sure you're not voice activated because you're double tapping on.
Yeah, it says push to talk.
Yeah, but you're also transmitting on frequency on 22.8, so make sure you don't have the same push to talk.
Oh, I've been known to do
right
that.
on. Sorry. Yeah, that's a good thought.
Hey,
All good.
no worries.
Oh!
I spent like the first half an hour without my push to talk button on, so I was doing kind of a double thing myself.
On Unicom, like, hey, pass me a beer back there. No, that wouldn't go good.
All right, looking. Northern part of the city here. We're gonna come around. Hopefully we'll find Meade. Sorry, Phelps Field. Again, Meade. I see Meade on the sectional, but Meade is a little, looks like a little private strip up here. We should also see, looks like the railroad track, and a road runs north out of the city here pretty soon. So we should see something kind of spitting out that way. But I think
should be right off your left because I think I see it off my left front and you're almost parallel to it in my view.
All right, looking for the airfield. Yeah, regardless, I'm at the point where I think we can go ahead and start turning to the west, and I think we're going to be well north of where we need to be, so we're not going to be in the way of any of those big heavies that are trying to get in and out of
Oh yeah, you're well good to turn left.
Spokane International. And then there's Fairchild Air Force Base as well. So that's the main thing here, is just trying to avoid that. But I think Phelps Field is like, it's got some historical significance to it, doesn't it? I'm trying to remember. It's like the birthplace of one of the, is it the Diamond DA-62? What is it? Anybody know? Or maybe it's the Duke. I think maybe it's the Beechcraft Duke 60. That's Phelps Field is kind of where, either where it's housed or where it's repaired or where it was built, or initially, I don't know. I remember at one point in time really wanting Phelps Field because the Duke 60 is, it's like my favorite GA aircraft. And so
it's really odd. I'm getting like 1 out of 2 words that you're saying.
Oh, weird. I'm sorry. Let me see if I did have a few drop frames there. It said 2 minutes ago, so hopefully it's not going to be an issue. Hopefully it's going to stay relatively smooth, but actually it's probably better that way because I just kind of tend to ramble on and really don't say anything that makes much of a difference. All right, there's the road that's heading north. So road and railroad track, yeah, I think so. So we're getting there. We're getting there. We should be. I should have Phelps Field here somewhere nearby. Probably flying right over the top of it where you can't see it. Well, that's okay. I think we've lost enough altitude for right now. So I'm going to turn and, oh, we're already going kind of southwest. I had 265. Trax 360, my ground radar guy says looks like I'm maybe too far north. Okay, well that was, I was going to err on the side of being definitely too far north. If I'm too far north, then I want to make sure that I'm not tracking directly west. So how about we go about 250? The whole goal now is pretty simple. We need to find the Spokane River. So we were right in here, although maybe more up here-ish according to Trax. So we need to shoot down here, pick up this river. Then we're looking for this horseshoe, and then there's Tightcliff.
Pretty sure that we're staring right at the river just behind that little mountain.
Awesome. That's good to hear. Looks like I do see some water out there, so that's good. So we'll hop the river and try to lose a little bit of altitude. Let's see, Tightcliff again, 1855, so we could get ourselves around probably 3,000. That'd be, I think, pretty good. Keeps you clear of the terrain for the most part and not too high.
My speed's back to about 80, Chris.
Yeah, that works for me too. I'm just a little over 80 right now. Oh, well, you know what? I don't know, Trax. I just see Phelps. Yeah, SFF. Yep, that's the one. That's the one. There we go. There's our river. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So follow it. It goes north. When it horseshoes back around to the south, that's when it's time to get serious. One thing I do see here that is interesting. So there's like looks like a power line or something here. So I may have to fly here and just see generally, maybe the approach isn't up the river. Maybe it's more of a, well, I don't need to guess. Let's just look at the deal here. Runway 6 and runway 24. So yeah, it's not necessarily going to be a north-south approach, which would make sense because that way you're not worried about, you know, about these power lines. So perhaps if I don't see it here, I'll go around the horseshoe and maybe just fly directly over. I'll stay at about 3,000 feet, kind of get my bearings, and then decide. You know, if I had to guess, I would say 2-4 is probably going to be the more appropriate approach, just because I think the winds generally are from the west here. So, but I think I'll do that. We'll just, and that way the guys behind me, we can kind of all get in line and figure it out. So, let me just talk to them. So, what do you think, guys, about going around the horseshoe, overflying the field, and then entering left traffic for runway 24?
Yeah, I'm following you, so you lead the way, and I'll try and pick it up along the way.
All right, if we get there and there's terrain issues or whatever, we can make a different plan, but I think that'll maybe be the way to go. Okay.
What are you going to drop to right now in terms of altitude?
I'm gonna go down to 3,000 and just hold there over the river.
Check.
You know, I had climbed a little bit up above 4,000. All right, I think I see maybe the turn. So Tightcliff ought to be over in this area, somewhere in here. As I look at the terrain on the sectional, I don't see anything above 2,000. That's the highest that's listed here. So I think if we're down to 3, we'll still have pretty good visibility of the surrounding area.
Is this showing up as Tightcliff on the sectional?
That's where we're heading.
Yep.
Okay. Looks like we got some power lines to the north.
Yeah, we're trying to sort that out. We're going to fly over midfield and kind of see. I think we're going to fly from over the top of the power lines and then enter left traffic for 2-4. Nubs, checking in there. Hello, good to have you. Welcome to Prop Culture. I'm in the yes, I'm in the 152. And KWAS 8161. Welcome to Prop Culture. You came at a good time. We're just about on approach to Tightcliff Airfield in Washington. This is the Spokane River. We're going to be making a little loop around the horseshoe right here and head south, and then we're going to, with any luck, we're going to figure out how to make an approach into this backcountry airport. So yeah, 152. I've got a couple of guys, a couple of bogeys at my 6. This is a little series called Nowhere Fast, and we've got some bush tires fitted to. This is the Carenata 152. It's got that X-Plane mod, which I still don't have confirmation if it's the NH Adrian mod or the Hadrian mod. So I just with the mod, the free mod, and so it's kind of spiced it up a little bit. I know, well, I don't know Jeff Favagano, but I follow his stream. He does some great work.
Oh yeah, Brant, I mean, sometime if you want to get a DC-3 flight going, it'd be cool to see a bunch of those.
Completely agree, man. Totally agree.
I know Slant Alpha would be interested in that too.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think we could drum up a bunch of Dakotas. Well, I've got a guy that I talked to. His name's Dakota Pilot. He flies his DC-3 all the time. So yeah, that's a great idea, man. All right, so looping around, and hopefully we see the scenery.
The checklist is so bulletproof on that Manfred Jan plate.
Yeah, it's not half bad, and it's, I mean, yeah, it's just a fun plane to fly. All right, so here we go. We're roughly 3,000.
Well, yes, taxi go.
Time to start to get busy here. So forgive me if you are chit-chatting in the. Feel free to chat amongst yourself, but I'm gonna have to start to pay attention.
Well, I mean, I was having trouble just going over Mullen Pass last night. I can't imagine those guys trying to go over the Himalayas.
All right. So around the horn we go. And step number 1 is going to be, let's just find the airstrip here. This may not be the horseshoe, actually. Yeah, yes it is. It has to be. So step number 1 is find the field. Step number 2 is we're going to fly over midfield. Okay, I think I see a power line right there, so we're clear of that. I think this is the field, and again it runs kind of 6 and 2/4, so we'll be pretty well crossing, you know, on a crosswind. Let's just see if we can locate it though first. It's right tucked here in the corner. or at least I hope it is. There's the power line. Yeah, so I wouldn't think you probably are making your approach. I think the runway is going to be more in here. Oh, there is. Nope, that's a road. Those are more roads. I know we're in here somewhere. In here somewhere. Got a nasty glare from the sun behind me. I'm not seeing too well down there. Come on, where are you, airstrip? I know you're in here somewhere. There's some 3D buildings, so there we go, right there. That's our boy. Okay. At Tightcliff, traffic, November 11816. We're crossing midfield. We're going to be making left-hand traffic for a southwest approach. All right, so here we go.
Tightcliff traffic, Cessna 124, my Charlie. We got the other Cessna in sight. We'll follow him for the left downwind. Tightcliff.
So we'll put 260 in our 6 o'clock. Got a little bit low here. Not too bad though. Let's we've got put a notch of flaps in. Let's see if we can get our airspeed down. Now we found it, but now you got to re-find it when you turn and all that fun stuff. So let's we will see. We will see. I think I'll come out here to about the river, extend my downwind just a bit. Give me a chance to get my bearings. Tightcliff traffic, November 11816, left base, Tightcliff. 24, I think it's runway 24. That's what we're calling it anyway, or 26. Sorry, 26. All right, there's about 26. Now I'm hidden. Oh, I've got a mountain in front of me. Doggone it. Well, we're going to go around this mountain and see. Tightcliff traffic, November 11816. Turn of final, runway 26, Tightcliff. Okay, I kind of see a little bit. It's a little bit of a clearing. Toss another notch of flaps in here.
Yeah, Tightcliff traffic, Skyhawk 65, leaves entering the pattern on a left crossing for 26.
Oh boy, I think I turned a little too soon. I did. Where? Oh, I'm too high. Yep. And Tightcliff, November 11816. We're on the go. We'll do left crosswind. Tightcliff. Yep, way too high. Yeah, I'm still at 2,500. So let's level off right here.
Cessna 124, my Charlie, left base for a full stop landing 24 Tightcliff.
Yep, there's I see my other traffic, so I'm gonna let him pass in front of me. He's number 3.
Traffic, Skyhawk 65, leaving left downwind 26 Tightcliff.
And Tightcliff 11816 has the Cessna in sight. Will follow on the downwind. Tightcliff. Okay, a little slow.
Traffic, Cessna 124, my Charlie's turning final. We're over the lake in the mountain there to turn the final for 24. Let's see if we can do that.
Yep, that little mountain peak is kind of the key to success. I think if you can be low enough with that little mountain right there, that guy, you got to have that guy off of your left-hand wing. And Tightcliff, November 11816, left downwind, runway 26, Tightcliff. Oh boy, I'm super slow. I have 2 notch of flaps in. That's why. Let's pull it back to a single notch. And
Tightcliff traffic, Skyhawk 65, leaving left base 26 Tightcliff.
All right, so let's do a little bit better job this time. I'm at more of a pattern altitude, although I'm all over the place here on my downwind. Come on.
Cessna 124, my Charlie's off for runway 24 Tightcliff.
Hey, nice job, man. Awesome. Awesome.
Tightcliff traffic, Sky 65, limit turning final 26, Tightcliff.
There's our field over there. You can't see it, but it is over there. We want to be on the other side of this little hill. Nice and slow. We shouldn't be. We're a little too high, actually. Let's slow it down.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It'd probably be smarter to come in from 6 instead of 2-4.
Really? Oh. Okay, well, we'll see. Tightcliff 11816, left base 24, Tightcliff. Okay, get around the hill.
Tightcliff traffic, Sky 65, limit go down 26, making left traffic, Tightcliff.
And Tightcliff 11816, turning final 26, Tightcliff. Alright, so this could, and I'm not sold on having to be 26. I just, based on kind of the prevailing winds in the area, thought that might be the way to go.
Traffic, Sky 65, limit left Allen 26.
Oh, you're right. It's much more, yeah, you know what? I think you're right. I think the way the hill and everything, I think I'm going to go around and do...
I'm not going to lie, guys. I would recommend maybe coming in on 6 because the way I came in was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. Totally agree. And Tightcliff traffic 11816. We're gonna just stay runway heading, make a 360 and approach runway 6, Tightcliff. All right, good to know. Good to know. Let's get some airspeed built back up. I'll keep a notch of flaps in. And
Tightcliff traffic, Sky 65, leave a left crosswind 06, Tightcliff.
So he's left crosswind. All right, so we're just gonna do a little 360 here, and Tightcliff traffic November 11816 on the procedure turn inbound runway 6, Tightcliff. Okay, yeah, that's a little joke. It's not really a procedure turn, but just a moment of levity to lighten up an incredibly stressful.
Skyhawk 65, Lima left downwind, rear the traffic turning inbound inside Tightcliff.
Let's see if we can not stall. Let's see if we can pick this baby up here. Alright, there we go. There's our field somewhere in that clearing. Tightcliff traffic 11816 on the final runway 6, Tightcliff. Maybe. Is that it? That maybe not be it. What am I doing here, guys? No, I can't find it. That doesn't look like it's it. Nope, I don't know. Gosh darn it. Maybe that was it. I don't think it is. I think we're over the hill here. If not, I'll get my bearings.
Traffic, Sky 65, leaving left base 06, Tightcliff.
Where am I? Where am I? I can't see it, guys. I can't see it. I'm climbing out.
816, you might want to go around.
Yeah, 816 on the go around, Tightcliff. Yeah, I missed it. I missed it. Totally missed it. All right.
I'm down and to your right.
Okay, okay. Hey, yeah, I think I saw it kind of at the last minute there. All right, this is tricky, guys. I kind of like it.
Traffic, Sky 65, leaving final 06, Tightcliff.
Tightcliff 11816, left crosswind 06, Tightcliff. So, fourth time is the charm. Here I was thinking we were making good time and didn't realize it was going to take me an hour and a half to land. Alright, so back to the river. So be it. That's the way it goes. That's part of this deal. Tightcliff traffic 816, left downwind runway 6, Tightcliff. Again, if you're hitting me on the chat, I apologize. It's everything I can do just to try to keep this bird in the air and find the airfield. So I apologize. I'm not able to respond right now, but I will. I promise I'm on the ground and I'll check in with you here. But I need to find my airfield. I'm kind of lost right now. I know it's here somewhere. I need Mike.
Traffic 65 limit cleared of 06.
All right, those guys have both found it. I need somebody to start a fire down there. Where the heck are you? All right, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna gain some altitude and just take a look at about. I'm gonna get up over the top of this ridge, and so I'm gonna extend my downwind and see if I can get a feel for it. It's just a little strip cut out, you know, between the trees, so it is fairly tough to find. All right, it's down there. Two people have found their way, so and Tightcliff traffic 11816 left base runway 6 Tightcliff. So let's get turned. Let's put it on our left wing here, and let's see if we can locate it first of all. We're up at 3,000, so we should be high enough that we can maybe get a better perspective. And there it is. All right, Tightcliff traffic 816 turning final runway 6 Tightcliff. All right, I do see it. I have a visual. Let's see if we can get on the ground here. There it is, right out in front of us. Okay, I got a little quick though. Oops. I have to do the old bleed the speed thing like we did last time. There's flaps 1. I think we'll be okay. Yeah, if you can just get lined up with it, you know, it helps, right? Second notch of flaps. Landing lights coming on. All right. Try to get our speed down around 60. Final notch of flaps is in. Here we come. Still about 1,000 feet up. Way too high. Pretty aggressive on the approach here at 1,000 feet per minute. Unfortunately, that's just the way she goes. A little bit of an uphill, I think, if I remember right. There we go. Oops, don't drift too far here, buddy. Okay, we're down. And we used every inch of it, didn't we? Holy cow. Whoa. I didn't have a foot to spare, boys. That long drift, that extra energy I carried in there was a problem. That's boy, that's I think 3 airstrips in a row that I've done that. Yeah, that's not good to do. So really, truly, you know what? I should just stay up here because this is where you'd be departing from. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna let me come down here. I need to check my fuel and everything. And there aren't too many parking spots. This is a very tight little place, so I'm just gonna pull off. Yeah, maybe just right in here behind this bush. Oh no, there looks like there's a little bit more room down here by the hangar. Oh, 3 go-arounds, but we made it. That would have been not a bad spot to park. All right, this will work. Do have a something in the hangar ready to go there. So, all right, well, I'll take it. It's another one that we got done. And all right, let me park here. Let me kind of take stock of where we're at. Maybe get caught up. Whew, on the chat messages here. I think I'm going to go ahead and.
So we did good, boys.
Yeah, we did good. I think I am going to go ahead and just do the next leg right now. So if you guys, I'll post the route I'm thinking of here, and if you guys want to get going, you can. I just need to check my fuel real quick, and I'll be ready to go. All right, so first things first. Let's get back in here. Let's look at. Okay, we've got. Let's see. Back. Yep. Jet pilot's talking trash. He was the first one to land there. He did it the wrong way too. I mean, holy cow! Look at this. Let me just give you some perspective of what he just did. So this is the way that we came in, which is, you know, it's got some things cleared out, which is cool. He decided that he would come in over the top of this hill, kind of St. Bart style, and land downhill. That was impressive. That you were, and on the first attempt, no less. So, Gus Bus, are we doing this together? Yep, we are. We left.
Needless to say, I forced it in there.
Testing out those. You're testing out those new backcountry struts, right? Let's see. They're on, downwinds, saying VATSIM, doing some winds. Well, and I don't have any winds turned on tracks. That's one of the cheats. Is I have the weather clear, and so just because I just want to be able to fly and not worry about the weather right now, just because I need to get up to Washington for the Bush League deal on Monday. So let's see. Downwind sim, aren't you sidekicks? Yep. Take care of the chat. And we did survive. Yeah, Kenny, it was touch and go there for a while. Thanks, Downwind. Appreciate the scenery compliment. Yep. Yeah. So, whew. Anyway, let's just real quick. We're not going to do a walk around. Apologize. We're just going to kind of come in here and take a look. Our next leg, by the way, let's pull this over here. So this went a little quicker than I thought. So I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to knock out the last part up here to Stehekin State as well. And 6 Sierra Niner is that. And I do have a bit of a route sort of plotted out. This is going to be the same type of deal. Whoops, I just lost my document that had that. Let me pull that back up. So into Stehekin State, this is what we're after here. Tightcliff to Stehekin. Okay. So this is what this is going to look like, and I'll kind of walk you through this. So we have the benefit of departing, and we're just going to essentially follow the Spokane River here for quite a bit, probably the first half. And then when we get down here to the Grand Coulee Dam, we are going to take this right-hand turn, and we're going to follow. This is now the Columbia River, and so really this ought to be a fun, pretty simple, navigationally, we're on the river basically the whole way. And then when we get down here, we will see Lake Chelan, and then from Lake, that may not be Chelan, but anyway, Chelan. We're going to follow the lake and all the way up into Stehekin State. So navigationally, this should be one of the more straightforward routes. So I'm going to post that in the chat. I do need to take a very short, very brief restroom break, and I'm going to load us up on fuel, and I'll be ready. I'll be back here in just a sec for leg 2. So guys, like I said, if you're ready to rock and roll, go ahead. I'll catch up with you here in just a little bit. Everybody else, I'll see you in a few. Radio silence from the virtual USA Flying Club guys. They may have had to go. Initially, we were thinking that this might be a two-parter, but I think the fact that we made it a little sooner than anticipated, like I say, it's I'm ready to go. So, ba-doop-ba-doo. Oh, I am muted in the Discord. Dang it. I keep doing that. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I had muted
Yeah, there
that
you
on
go.
final. Hey, we ready to go?
I am. Mike, you.
I am ready to go.
I don't know about Justin's muted too, so I don't know if he's ready though.
Okay, I've got just a second here, and I mean, it's pretty easy, and I'm not fast. I'm not going to run away from anybody, but I'll go ahead and get it started.
Okay.
So I better run through the checklist real quick here before we go. Before takeoff, flaps are set. Trim is to take off. Carb heat. Ooh, I forgot to put carb heat on again for the third out of 4 consecutive approaches. Radio mixture, we got right now. I have it pretty well leaned out. We'll get up to the top of the runway and go. And Tightcliff traffic, November 11816, and back taxi for departure on runway 24, Tightcliff. Pop the brakes, climb out of the mud, and head on back up the hill. All right. Still got a few people hanging out. Appreciate that, guys. It's always much more fun having people along, and of course, good-natured ribbing is encouraged as part of the deal. It's absolutely what I do when people like Downwind Sim are streaming. Yeah, it's not exactly like a celebrity roast or anything like that, but yeah, I make plenty of goofs, and I don't mind if you tease me about it. So, let's pull the throttle up to 1700. Let's just make sure we're leaned for.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna start this, but I might not make the whole thing.
Hey, understood, man, and whatever you can fly. If you can't, that's cool too, man. But tag along as long as you can.
We'll see how long I can go.
All right. So I think I'm leaned. Here we go. And Tightcliff traffic 11816 departing runway 24. We VFR down the river to the west. Tightcliff. See if we can do it.
I'll go second.
Well, I do have some trees to deal with down here, don't I? There's 40. I need 50. There's 50. Pull back ever so gradually. I don't mind using a little ground effect.
Tightcliff traffic.
Whoa, there's some bushes I gotta get over. Alright, we're good. We are good. With feet to spare. Okay, that was a tougher departure than I thought. Flaps coming up. Landing lights off. River in sight. So this leg, SkyVector's saying.
Yep.
SkyVector's saying this leg is a little longer than my last leg, but I don't think it is. Distance-wise, it's about the same. I know we zag a little bit, and that might be part of it, but yeah, my SkyVector's saying it should take me 3 hours and 16 minutes. I don't think so. This is about an hour and a half flight. That's what I'm, maybe 2.
Traffic, Cessna Golf X Charlie Foxtrot back taxiing runway 24, Tightcliff.
By the way, guys, I only filed 2,500 for this leg, if that makes any difference.
25, you said?
A-firm.
Works for me. I like going low.
And pull back on the throttle just a hair. We're redlining here.
You're gonna follow the Columbia the whole way. So like Lake Chelan.
Yep, that's exactly what we're doing.
Tightcliff traffic. Cessna Golf Victor Charlie Foxtrot departing runway 24 west. Tightcliff.
Actually, had not updated, or I'm having this weird X-Pilot thing where it changes my flight plan on me, so I just went back in and checked. And I
Somebody
had
have a Skyline?
I'm in a 150 myself.
I'm in a 172.
Yeah, I'm using the 170 for the prop strike 172.
Well, that's cool.
It'd be cooler if you could see my custom livery.
I can picture it in my mind, Clark, and it's beautiful.
It's not twinkling, Clark.
All right. Well, okay. There's Diet Dr. Pepper #1. Again, this stream's still not sponsored by Diet Dr. Pepper or Bose. I'll rough it. Let's see. So we're zipping along again. This is the Spokane River. When we here, this first leg is about 53 miles. So, and that's when we
Does
get to
anybody
the
make a decent Cessna 185?
185. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Carenado has like every Cessna in the world, don't they? That'd be my guess, but I don't really know.
Okay.
Titanium Druid said I drank too much Diet Dr. Pepper in nuke school.
Something
Rumor
about
was.
that 1,600-pound useful load sounds nice.
Oh yeah. Had the most caffeine of anything besides Jolt. That could very well be. I think it packs a punch.
Whenever one of those goes up for sale around here, they're worth their weight in coal.
Oh yeah, they look super versatile for this type of country, man.
And you can put a pair of floats on them and still have pretty decent useful load.
Yeah, they look awesome. There's no doubt about it.
Used to work out at the airport. There's this guy that had a mall. It was just so cool, right? You'd go out to all those little Forest Service.
Yeah.
And he's saying, like, this plane's not going to last 30 years like a Cessna will. It's just too many weight-saving devices.
Really? I figured those malls were built like tanks. I mean, but yeah, I don't know. That's interesting.
Maybe some of the fabric coverings and stuff like that. I forget why exactly, but
Is your plan just to follow the river?
Yeah, we're gonna follow the river to the Grand Coulee Dam, and then we're gonna hang a right at the Grand Coulee Dam and pick up the Columbia River and that pretty well takes us into Stehekin State. So the question of the day, besides will I... Oh, we forgot to do landing rate predictions. All right, next time. Kenny Monster, that's your job. Usually you're the first one to predict.
My landing gear won't come up.
But anyway,
That's interesting.
from predictions, besides landing rate predictions, which for me in this channel is you have two choices.
First, does your plane have retractable
Yes or no,
landing gear?
and then number of bounces. But the predictions I want to hear from also
I
are
only sat there.
who do you have in the
in
NFL playoffs? Who's going to win this thing?
That wasn't going to work.
Got playoff games starting here in about an hour. Who do you got? So the very first time I flew the Columbia River, it was actually, there was an event up here that the Seattle ARTCCC held, and I remember having the best dang time. We flew from, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to look now. This little tiny, we flew into this little tiny like Renton, no, it's more down Portland way. Anyway, there were, what I remember is there were a bunch of sandbars, some off airport opportunities. So I'm curious to see what this looks like in the ortho. I'm not opposed to, you know, touch and go on a sandbar if one presents itself. I've been known to do that. I don't want to do a bunch of it because I don't want to make a ton of stuff, but like look at that little sandbar to the right. That looks like fun. That's not a sandbar, I guess that's kind of a hillside. Just all depends on how well it renders in the ortho. But if I see a sandbar, there's a chance we could do a little touch and go. So I've got a 1 volt for Skoll. Yep, I like the Vikings. I do. I'm kind of I'm rooting for the Bills because the quarterback for Buffalo is a former University of Wyoming quarterback, and that's where I graduated. So, you know, they're not my team per se, but for the teams that are left, they're definitely at the top of my list. Yeah, that didn't render great. That road is kind of on the side of the hill, and I must have something set up in my ortho for XP that's not quite right.
Oh, Mike, it looks like you passed me. That's all right. You can be number 2.
Ken Pryor's rooting for the Fort Wayne Pistons. Yep, they're solid. They're solid. Titanium David wants the Pats to win
I'll slide in behind you.
because he hates the Steelers.
Yeah, you, for a while, it looked like you were flying
it would
off
kill
of the
them all
mountains.
to see Brady win it again. So the question I have for you, David,
I got
is
you and Brandon,
let's
so
say
I'll slide in.
let's say the Patriots get it done. Does Tom Brady walk away
I
on
believe that's
top?
him.
Probably.
Be hard to
What's
not
your
walk
indicator?
away after winning back-to-back, and I mean, he's running out of fingers
30.
for rings anyway.
That's
So
probably why. I think Brand's only doing 100.
I'm
Make
doing
it a little
almost
faster.
100, about 95.
And I'll dial it back a little.
Didn't know you had the RAM conversion.
Well, and really, truly, guys, I mean, if you're wanting to be faster and be in the lead, that's okay too. I mean, I appreciate you hanging with me, but I also know sometimes it's if you got a fast plane and want to go, that's okay. You can go sell
And
essential
actually, I was
oils.
reading the miles per hour. I'm doing about 110.
Sounds a little better.
Yeah, right. That poor lie coming up front.
Brent, I guess I should program my GPS while we're at it.
What's a GPS?
Oh, I got that new one in here.
Oh,
Okay, what are we doing? 6S9?
that's the destination.
Okay. GPS plot a course via the river for 6 Sierra 9.
You gonna plug that into your
You
FMC?
could just be flying over the mountains. If you wanted to take the river, why didn't you buy a boat?
Oh, I
got it
forgot
at a
about that.
discount.
Yes.
It's not great.
Yes. Oh, I
It's like
love
sassy
that.
FMC.
I love that.
Man, Alexa means business these days.
No kidding. Oh man.
Here are some options. Alaska Airlines flies to your airport.
So Kenny Monster is rooting for the Steelers. Well, the Steelers, they have as much chance of winning this year as my Broncos do, which is actually the same chance that I have of winning the Super Bowl because I'm on the couch watching just like those teams are. I like the Broncos. They're my team. They had a bad year. Steelers were in it and just kind of, yeah, they lost a couple games late that they shouldn't have, but they were so beat up. But yeah.
I think I
So
was setting up a flight with some other people on a different server one time. They were setting up their FMCs, and I just got bored. So I'll take off in a Mooney Bravo. I think I beat them by 10 minutes. Just flying VORs.
That's the beauty part of Slant Alpha, man. It's just so easy and fast. I mean, you can just you spin a frequency and then you get to fly. You don't have to spend so much time up front.
And honestly, if you're gonna fly by the fixes, then you might as well just let the autopilot do it.
Yeah, I agree. And it's good to be
Exactly.
current. It's good to be current in both, but there are times when it's just nice to just turn the key and go fly.
I think my problem with it is if pilots are relying on the FMC to do everything in the autopilot, what happens? You try to fly one by hand. Too soft.
Yeah, or you have some kind of a failure. I mean, some kind of electrical failure. You got to know how to do them both.
Oh yeah.
Sully didn't know what flaps to set because he watched the GPS do it over and over again.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that comes with experience.
Yeah.
Actually, that brings up a decent question. So if you had a 737 and you were trying to ditch it, what would be your ideal flaps? You wouldn't want to dump them all the way, right?
I would think.
I guess if you're ditching in the water, my perspective would be that you'd want to minimize your angle of attack as much as possible.
Yeah.
You don't want to hit with the plane at a funny angle, and you don't want to hit in the water hard.
Right.
Which I guess I'm assuming was his thought process either. He didn't want to come down with the tail too low. That would just make him strike and bounce.
Yeah, and what did the guys in the sim, they had to run the scenario like 14 times before they were able to successfully land in one of the alternate airports.
Yeah, I don't know, like from the movie, I don't know how much they embellished what went on with that whole procedure.
All right, guys. So I'm just kind of, as I'm looking at things, I think we are getting to
Kind of
those
reckless that they were
little
like, well, Teterborough's
spots.
right over there. The heck, you're not going
So
to make
kind
it.
of a little bit of a turn back to the south, just so we have a
I'm glad they
feel
decided not
for.
to do that because my grandparents live under the approach path to that runway from Teterboro, and had they decided to do that,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would not have been good. Not seeing any sandbar opportunities just yet.
Wasn't the
stuff
most
kinda
helpful
like that, but,
suggestion, I guess, is all I'm suggesting.
Well, I'm sure for the ATC, they kind of have the same deal where they just have memorized emergency procedures, and so when they hear somebody having trouble, they just kind of go down the list and say, well, vector you here, vector you there, you know. So I don't know. As an ATC, maybe they didn't realize just quite how serious it was initially. I mean, hard to
yeah,
tell.
that is just ATC doing their job, giving out airports
Yeah.
and directions and stuff like that. They're probably pretty aware that you're not going to make it, but their job is to just hope, and they got to give you that information in case
Yeah.
there's a chance you can.
They probably also understand the scenario and know that you're going through a half dozen checklists all at the same time.
True.
And they've got to make their communication succinct.
Yeah, very true.
Right.
All right. Well,
and they're probably not used to having dual engine failure. You know, if you had one engine out, Teterboro would be fine. You know, you don't have to. You'd be still on the positive side of the energy equation.
One engine, you can make it back to LaGuardia, no problem in a jet.
Sure.
Airplane to fly perfectly comfortably. Same
That's
thing
nice.
every day.
Right. But I think he knew taking off with dual engine failure in that situation.
And I tell you what, I'm glad I didn't depart any
impossible
later
turn
than
to go
noon
back
here.
to-
I'm running out of daylight.
Exactly. It would have been the impossible turn.
Stehekin State is, I don't believe it's, I better check. Not lighted. So yeah, we better hope we're not too much more than about an hour and a half, or we may be in a little bit of trouble here. So I'm definitely not going to fiddle around on sandbars if that's the case.
Was that movie any good?
Yeah, the movie.
Yeah, I thought the movie was very good.
Yeah, there's a lot of Hollywood drama, you know, put into it, and it's embellished in some places, but it's.
I could probably save a little bit of time by kind of cutting the corner here and going over the top, but I think we're best right now just keeping the river as our pathway. When we get down to this far
This
corner,
is where we're turning right where the river's.
yeah, when we get down to this south end, we are going to pick up, this is, I don't know how you say it, Chelan Lake or whatever, but yeah, that we turn right and then start heading back up to the north towards Grand Coulee Dam. So here's where we're inbound to, right
So
here.
not this first split that we're at now, but further down to where the bend is.
Well,
I believe so. I mean,
this is
I'm going to climb just a little bit because I think it ought to be pretty obvious where the lake is, but I think there must be a little bit of a dam or something there as well. But I'm guessing, yeah, as soon as we get down here to where the it might not be this corner exactly, but down here not too much further.
I'm looking at Sky Vector, and the river splits here, and we have to go up to the north is the way that you plotted it. So it would be the right turn here to follow it, and then it splits again before we get to Chilean, because we're not that close to the airport yet. So I think we turn, according to what you plotted, maybe it isn't this one, crap.
No, so this, we're gonna come up on a big dam, like a reservoir.
No, it isn't this one. We still have to keep going the same direction.
We're following the Spokane River right now.
Yeah, so there's a couple of airports that we should see here. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you guys. Riverview
you're fine.
and Lake Chelan Airfield, and then we should hopefully that'll be kind of an indicator that Lake Chelan's coming up to our right, and then we'll. But I'm going to climb a little bit again just to get an overhead view here, so I'm sure that hopefully we're coming up on it here soon.
Yeah, there's just
this is the reservoir we're over right now. It looks so the Cooley Dam should be another 10, 15 miles.
Now
we're going to take a right.
Yeah.
There's a little grass field just here on my left. Looks like 7-3 Whiskey Alpha.
Is that 7 bays? Is that what I'm looking at on the Sky Vector? Would that be 7 bays?
I'm not sure.
7-3 Whiskey Alpha. Yep, that's 7 bays. Yep, so we just got to keep going this way up the river. So it's not that right turn in the river, it's further up. I got it. I was disoriented for a minute, my bad, guys.
No worries.
Okay, so maybe I'm not.
I haven't even looked at the map, so I don't know where we're going.
Well, I can tell you. If you load the Ephrata field, and then once we get on like the 010 radial of that should be about Cooley.
What's the frequency?
Showing 1126 on the section.
Oops. Okay, so I was looking. Sorry, guys, I was looking way too far down my map here. So yeah, I think I got to get my bearings here. I thought I was way further to the south than I actually am. You're right. We don't turn north here.
We just got to keep following the river.
Keep going. This is
the so it's gonna hook to the right. So you're going left. I think you're going to a different part of the river there.
Yes, we need to go north here. This is the Grand Coulee Dam that we're looking at, right? I mean, correct?
Yeah, you got to be right because the river kind of goes a little bit to the north and then back west, and then a little bit to the north and then back.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. I was looking at the wrong part of my map here.
It's okay. You're not flying solo today.
These guys have come in handy several times with this kind of navigation, so it's very nice to have you aboard.
Mike, I think you technically took the lead now because he's above you to your left, I think.
Yeah, I've got him back behind me.
There we go. All right, so I'm gonna pull this over. So yeah, guys, I was clear down here, and we're not there yet.
Got y'all in sight. Looks like
we zigged and zagged around here, and this is Cooley Dam, and now we're heading up this direction, which
the 152 Brand. That's your name.
I think we're pretty good. Yep, that's me. So we're going to be following this now.
Oh, I'm way tight into you guys.
Becomes the Columbia River. It zigzags around. Yeah, so I was actually looking at the wrong thing. They were finding this airfield 37 Whiskey. Okay, I feel better about that.
I'm just going to win the Trim Tab, Golden Trim Tab Award.
Reset my timer here. This is I'm seeing about 36, about 40 miles. Yeah, sorry, about 60 miles as we zig and zag around here down to our next turn, which is down to Lake Chelan. Chelan.
What was the radial you were saying for EPH?
As far as I could tell, it looked like 010.
010.
And are you working off of Wenatchee? Is that what you're working off of?
Tuned into Ephrata.
Oh, I see. All right, so this is what he's talking about in case you didn't catch that. Just so he's using, this is the Ephrata VOR right here, and he was using 010 as, which is about right here. If you were to extend an imaginary line, it would put you right up here close to the Grand Coulee Dam. Just that's a way to verify. Now we're past it, so let me tune in this and show you what
Yeah,
it
I'm
looks
gonna
like.
miss you guys on Monday night, Brent.
Ah, man. Well, we'll have to do it again next month. Oh, wait, we are. 12.6. Let's tune that in. 12.6, and then we're going to spin our we'll spin our bug around to 010, and I'll show you what that looks like, just in case you're not a navigational, a VOR person.
Yeah, every quarter or so I teach this class on trading the stock market. It takes about 5 weeks that I do like one night a week for a little over a month. And unfortunately, without thinking, I picked Monday nights for this one.
Yeah,
They
I
ended up
actually
overlapping.
think I did that to myself too later on. So it happens, man. It does. All right, so then this needs to be spun around to 010, and let me make sure I'm not crashing into a mountain here. So as you saw, as I got past 010, it flipped around from this side to this side. So at Grand Coulee, this would be pretty well aligned, and that shows you that you're essentially intercepting. That you have this VOR tuned in, and then this radial 010. So you would be intercepting. Your course would intercept that 010 if you imagine a spoke that heads out here to the north, and that's just a good way. Like if you're still, I mean, it's still VFR, but it just helps you confirm, especially if you're in new country like I am, helps you confirm that you are where you are. So we could, just for just to kind of continue that thought, we could actually, if we want to find this dam right here that leads us to Lake Chelan, we could still use this same. This is Ephrata, the Ephrata VOR. So we keep that same frequency, 112.6, but we would estimate here. You know, if I drew a line, kind of like
It might look up into your right.
030 maybe. So let's just do that, and just so we can kind of illustrate how this hopefully works. Now,
You should see me. I'm passing you off
I
the right.
say that. Let
High.
me spin this over to 030. I say that,
Copy that.
and I want everybody to remember when I was flying into Wyoming, I was flying to Kinky Creek, that I had a VOR tuned, and it was actually it led me astray a little bit. So we have to be careful about that, not just relying on the nav aid. The other thing here is, look at my compass. It's drifted quite a bit. I'm actually not flying west. I'm flying about 280.
And we're just continuing with the river, right?
Yep. For now, we're still just with the river. We
So
still
let
got
me,
a bit before we make a turn.
let me get. I'm gonna get flying due west here, and then I'm gonna level out. This is not very. It's not advisable to do this while you're flying, just because it's hard to hold a level heading. But let's spin this to the west. Or spin that. Now we're pretty well lined up. So you're gonna get that. This compass tends to drift just a little bit. I don't know why, but if it's just the vibration of the plane or what, but you're supposed to reset that every time. So anyway, yeah, up the river.
What awesome visibility in the Skyhawk.
Yeah,
God.
I feel the same way in this plane too.
Now I'm using this prop strike, and the windows are eternally dirty.
Brant, you're definitely back on the lead now, by the way.
Sweet. Yeah, I kicked in the afterburners there for just a minute so I could be first.
152 run circles around us. Who knew?
No, I think you guys just let me lead because you enjoy the comedy factor of me trying to navigate to places.
I had to slow down so much my stall warning's been on for the last 5 minutes.
Oh boy.
Oops, sorry about that.
I'm exaggerating, of course.
So this will eventually, I mean, we're fairly.
All right, so now I'm coming to a fork in the river.
That's not the fork. That's not the correct fork either, because that one dies out. It ended up being we needed the third fork in the river. So we've already passed one. This is the second one. It'll be the next one after this that we need to make the turn to the north.
Yeah, just follow the main channel. And then if you have your VOR tuned, it should start slipping.
So that's what we'll watch, guys. We're going to watch this here, and hopefully when we get down to that right-hand turn that we need to make, this needle will start to center up, and it won't be probably dead center, but at least if we see it moving, we'll know. We'll look off to the right. So like right here, you know, we've got this channel that goes, and they're like, is that my turn? Is that my turn? Well, no, it's not, because this VOR would be much more centered. So we're still well, you know, essentially we're still well to the east of where we need to be. Pressures, temps, all looking pretty good. We're kind of at that point in the flight now where everybody's just sitting back and looking around, enjoying the scenery. Certainly a lot to look at in this part of the world, no doubt about that. Here's roughly where we are. We're kind of meandering here, and it should loop back up to the north. I'm anticipating one more loop to the north, and then we'll head due south, and that's kind of when we'll pick up hopefully that little right-hand turn. That'll be our final turn. We'll be up the lake here, and that leads us right to Stehekin State. Stehekin State, just so we can kind of plan an approach. 1-3 and 3-1 is our approach there. So yeah, we'll just have to kind of first of all we'll just have to make sure that we see it. And then we'll figure out what we want to do as far as an approach. Say that again.
Do you see the dam?
No, I'm still a ways away from that, I think. I'm about to that spot, though, where kind of by Anderson, I think, Sierra 97, where I'm going to start turning to the south, and then should only be, you know, 15-20 miles or so to the dam.
I don't think that's right.
Uh-oh. Okay.
That's not right.
Uh-oh, where am I at then, guys?
You're looking for your wrong dam. We're looking for the Cauley Dam.
Right. You're over Franklin Roosevelt Lake right now.
Oh. All right. Yeah, I'm still looking too far
we
ahead,
should be
guys.
coming up hot here on the Vancouver.
All right. Yep. You're okay.
My OBS is starting to move, so I think we're getting.
So I'm gonna spin that guy back. So let's just do that here. So again, we were thinking 010. Oh yeah, you're right.
Skyhawk has DME, you know.
Ah, you are correct. I was Samsonite. I was way off. All right, so okay. Yep, I was ahead of myself here, guys. So again, we're working off
Next
of
thing we should see is the
the
Collie Dam. The river
Ephrata.
splits to the north and the south, and we're following the river back to the north.
And we're doing 010 roughly, which gets us there. Okay, yeah. Yep. That is absolutely correct. Yep, you guys are right. I tuned in that 010, and that points us at the Grand Coulee Dam, and then you're right. Then we head up. That's when we get on the Columbia River. I was definitely a little bit farther ahead. Looking on my map, I mean. So that guy's coming in to play.
You had an out-of-body experience in a movie 201 for a second. We're
Yeah.
almost there.
We're almost there. That gets us about halfway. I mean, there's the Grand Coulee Dam. There's where we started. Grand Coulee Dam. There's where we finish. So yeah, we're gold.
It's kind of tricky just to do it just off VFR though, because you only really had the dam as a
Yeah, true
reference.
pilotage. It's pretty wild.
So Kenny says, which
Dead
indicator
Reckoning sounds
are you
too
looking
much work
for?
me right now?
Are you looking at for the heading? So right now I've got this tuned into, this is the Ephrata VOR 112.6, and we're tuned into a 010 outbound radial, and that will hopefully confirm for us here, which it is. That, and along with my wingmen, are confirming that we are needing to make the turn right here to pick up. Yep, there we go. But we should see the Grand Coulee Dam.
Yeah, this next split where it goes to the north, that's where I think we need to.
I would agree with that.
Yes, sir.
And I just got ahead of myself on the map looking there. And this, boy, this Lake Roosevelt, which is what we're over, it goes on and on down to the south a long time. Clear down, there's Coulee City down there. So it goes quite a ways, like another 20 miles down. This is a heck of a lake here, guys. All right, there's our Columbia River. I don't know if we'll be able to see the dam very well. I'm kind of in a bad spot. All right, I'm turning toward the Columbia River.
Yep, that's the spot now.
Okay.
Yeah, got you in sight.
Not sure. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. There's the
And then we got
dam.
the mics.
Awesome. Very nice, very nice.
Tracks for so long.
Whoa, boy, looking
You said
outside.
Mike, and I didn't know what was going on.
Mike squared.
Doesn't help that I'm also a Mike.
Well, I was like, is this guy talking to himself?
All right, well,
I do that sometimes, I won't lie, but
see if we can get trim back out here. All right, well now, okay. Now begins the
Mike ECAS is going wild.
60-mile stretch that we thought we were on the Columbia River. this again, just kind
I mean,
of
you're right on.
approximating.
I saw that. I was
11
like,
and 25
breaking
and
curve.
7 and 19, somewhere in that range. But now I'm going to spin our needle around. I'm guesstimating, I'm seeing kind of 030. That might not quite be right on the money, but again, just for confirmation, I guess, which I clearly need because I was way off. So let's spin this guy around to 030. And it's correctly saying we are far right of
So
that,
that's the
which
dam
is
we just went over here.
exactly what it should say.
Wish I had some better scenery to let that look
So
nicer.
here's where we are. Here's the next turn, and we
My
are
scenery
definitely
runs
to the
out here.
right. We're way over here to the right. So that will help a bunch. Ooh, grilled cheese, chip and dip at the Downwind Sim Workshop today. Yeah, I'm getting a little hungry.
Also, for the record, 2,500 doesn't cut it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's why I'm up at 3.
Actually, that's where I'm at too. Yeah, I'm actually up there now too. I just kind of drifted up, but you don't want to be down shooting the slot canyon.
Oh, I do. Not really a slot canyon here, is it? I mean, come on.
No, it's not exactly the Death Star run here, is it?
This is a cakewalk compared to the Canyonlands.
Oh, no doubt.
You're
I'm
not
up
supposed to fly
a
there.
little higher too because I'm trying to cut some corners because I see that big yellow orb in the sky getting lower and lower, and I know we need to make it.
I see you pretty much right under me, Justin.
I'll rock my wings Oshkosh style for you. Did you guys do that this year on Bat?
I did not.
I did. It was fun.
I didn't have my flight sim until December. That's when I built my new computer finally.
Right on.
I'm catching up for 4 years of having no flight sim.
Ooh, man, that's a long time.
Yeah. I mean, obviously flying in the real world helps to supplement that, but it's nice to do things like this in the sim, especially when I don't fly VFR anymore in the real world.
Yeah, I guess if you have to, I guess getting in a real airplane will work.
The old Embraer 145.
Oh, nice.
I got the bug for Sims last February. But I'd been flying drones and stuff for a long time. We used to do all the long distance FPV flights before drones got popular, and then all the governments made that sort of thing very illegal.
Yeah, they've become a little bit of a
Government's always got to
problem.
ruin the fun.
Some people that just don't understand.
It's nothing like taking a $10 piece of foam, throwing on about $2,000 worth of homemade electronics, and sending it 50 miles away and hoping you get it back.
Yeah, I would say.
Really, I'm not worried about elevation on this river though, because the further we follow it west, the lower.
Yep.
It's got a drain. If you're going towards the Continental Divide, though, it's a different story.
So now standard practice is to try to fly on the right-hand side of the canyon. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct.
So I'm not doing. So I'm doing a
Not
really
always
bad job of
permissible.
that.
You know, and some of these just have the cliffs come right out. So
Yeah, I'm way over on the left-hand side. I'm like practicing my English here, I think.
and I'm not too worried, Brant, because you're up front. So if somebody's coming at us, you're gonna hit them. So you know,
glad I could
it's like
contribute to the
decoy.
group here.
You're like our offensive line today.
Love it, love it. So I am going to try to move over to the right-hand side like I'm supposed to. I just had forgot all about that, but yeah, it kind of makes sense if somebody's heading down the other way. First of all, I'm also not at a good altitude. I should be 2,500 or 4,500 for VFR flight. But to further reduce the
You
chance,
can't always follow the right side of the channel. I mean, there's some
yeah,
rivers in Idaho where it's like that.
no, yeah, but to further reduce chances of collision, you want to try to stay to the right. Let's see how we're doing here. See one guy behind us. All right, at this point, it looks like we are turning to the west. So I'm attempting to do a better job of following my sectional now. So I guess guessing we're kind of getting ready to follow this stretch here, which is a little bit more, maybe this corner, I guess. So we got about 25 miles down to this corner, and then, yeah, just so I have a little bit better situational awareness, because I got a little bit ahead of myself there. Yeah, and that would make sense. We're about 7-8 minutes in, so that would have taken care of our little 11-mile first leg. we spun around.
I think the other Mike put himself back in the lead here.
Yeah, I think I'm heading. Am I heading too far south? I've kind of. Oh, there we go. I thought I.
Well, I was behind Brent, and I don't know. All of a sudden, he like disappeared off to my left.
Yeah, I kind of got a little bit. I was looking off screen, and I kind of got myself a little bit more on that left-hand side again. So I'm coming back around.
So we're coming to another fork. Is this the one?
We shouldn't be at any fork yet, really. So no, that's not
No,
gonna
it's
be.
not a. Yeah, it's not an actual fork. It's just like there's a valley, but no.
All right, sun's getting ever closer to the horizon, making me a little nervous. That's really going to be an issue if it gets too dark. If it gets too dark, I guess what we would have to do, real world, we'd have to divert to some place that's lighted. So let me look here. Just look and see what we have. Gosh, every time I look off screen, I kind of get to zigging and zagging. So closest airfields here, like Metho Valley. Does it have lights? It is lit. It has a beacon. So that, if we had to, I guess that could be our alternate, which would just be back to the east just a little bit. But hopefully, with any luck, we'll make it. And we're making pretty good time right now, as it is. Actually held a pretty close to 90 knot airspeed for most of the trip. And we're down, now we're on the southwesterly kind of trek here. Quick scan of the instruments, still everything looks good. One thing about flying this time of day is you catch some nice evening light, golden hour almost light, which is really, really nice. The bad part about landing this time of day is we're pretty much going to be right into the sun. Hey, I have a chance to use my sun blocker here. Ooh, I could put my sunglasses on if I wanted to. Usually leave those off. These windows are dirty and dingy enough as it is, so man, I don't need to necessarily have sunglasses on.
Has anyone given any thought to how we're going to approach the airport we're going to?
Don't know what the runway alignment looks like, so nope.
From above.
There's 1331. Looks like not a great go-around opportunity.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look. I think it is a one-way in, one-way out deal. Let me do some looking here real quick, and maybe I can do a better job of guiding you in this time.
Looks to me like 3-1 is going to be the downslope. So you probably just straight in.
And I would figure that would favor the winds in this area too. That's kind of what I was thinking.
I think the closest weather station says winds are coming from 340, but only 4 knots.
It's a little closer to a box canyon there, but not quite.
Boy, now that I look at it, I think we may actually have some terrain that's on the that's kind of protecting the approach from 3-1. So we may have to turn it around and come in 1-3.
I don't know about that. Looks like you just come in right over the lake.
There's actually videos on YouTube of guys landing there.
Are they landed then on
me
the
see.
3-1?
It looks like they just come right off the river and land straight from the direction we're going, which would be, I'm imagining, a 3-1 0-degree heading.
All right, cool. That's what we'll plan. Well, again, I've drifted. As you can see, I've drifted to the left-hand side of the runway, so...
Yep, the dude in the video I'm watching, the dude's landing 3-1. That's what his heading indicates.
One 3 looks a little difficult.
So that'll be the one for Mike to try then, the more challenging approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, mistakes were made going into the to Tightcliff there. I probably got lucky just because I was in the sim and got away with a lot.
Oh my goodness, mistakes were made. I love it.
Still, it was fun kind of just turning or just do like a turn right onto the runway. It looked like you went up and over.
Yeah, I missed it the very first time. I was way too high, and the second time I was way too far to the right, and so yeah, it was, talk about mistakes were made. All right, so we are getting almost to the corner where it's going to turn back to the north-ish a little bit. We're almost getting down here. We're kind of, again, this meanders, it zigs, it zags here and there, and the other. It's 25 miles basically, and I've got us about 12 minutes. You know, so we would look at somewhere in that 18 to 20 minute range should put us down there, maybe a little sooner.
The guy's YouTube video I was watching is actually, he did it in a 172.
Very cool. Yep, I see landing runway 31. Let's take a look, guys.
Yeah, why not? The airport's only at 12:30.
Whoops, I can't do full screen here. I don't want to lose sight of where I'm going. There, let's get leveled out.
Rich air.
Let's take a look. This is what we're going to be doing. We'll see how close. Oh, so there is that hill there, but I see. You just kind of come in on the side.
Skyhawk into Aspen's a whole different matter.
Well, you could tell the winds. You could tell the winds really come off of that hill and push you out towards the creek a little bit.
Yeah, he's crapped pretty good in that video.
That's awesome.
Oh, I'm sure the wind's always whipping through that slot right there.
That's right, straight from the Mike Sinante book of how to land your Cessna in the backcountry. Right there, that video. All right, that was pretty cool. That's where we're going.
Yeah, it was that good in the real world.
That's where we're going, guys. If I don't get there before dark, I'm gonna have somebody build a fire down there. Where's our sun? We're hanging in there. Problem is, in the mountains, it gets a little darker a little sooner.
There's some really fun airports too in Africa. There's like these mountains. It's this country called Lesotho. They have one airport at 10,600 on like a mesa.
Holy cow!
There's always Telluride, Colorado too, if you like a white knuckler.
I have been to Telluride in real life in a beach jet.
Oh man!
Wow.
During the summer.
Of course.
That was a great couple of nights we spent there. I think that's still what I would consider the best place I've ever been to in this country.
It's a notoriously difficult approach, though, right?
Beach jet up, it ate up every bit of that runway, landing and taking off.
Oh man. What was your density altitude that day?
High.
5 digits.
Way up there.
Oh yeah, it was in the 5 digits.
Wow.
I'm sure it's hard for you to tell your people, like, well, you could take some of your golf clubs, just not all of them.
So we brought one passenger in, so thankfully the plane really wasn't that heavy. And then we were empty coming out, and we were on like pretty much minimum fuel to just reposition in Colorado Springs. So we were like pretty much as light as we could be.
Wow.
Still ate up the.
Man. You really don't want to go over there, you know? Do your best wild
No,
Coyote
that was
impression.
not at all.
Beep, beep.
There was a little pucker factor in the takeoff getting out of there.
So you don't want to do the Trent Palmer and just kind of go off the end and then nose down and let gravity kind of be your friend and all that, pick up airspeed and then zoom out of the valley?
No. No.
wind is not pushing me around downwind. It's just me looking and gawking around, and then I'm actually a little worried. It looks like my stream is dropping some frames. I don't know why. So hopefully it doesn't look too awful on you guys' end. But the other thing I'm a little worried about is my sun is getting low in the sky, and I still have a ways to go yet. What's it say I've got?
I mean, I'm using real world time. Shouldn't be the sun setting real world time out here.
Not even close.
Well, let me check and see what's going on here, because I thought I
Should
had
only
that
be
too.
like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I think, in this area.
It's noon right now.
Oh,
Pacific.
whoops. Yeah, somehow. Okay, I'm gonna do this then.
Should have another 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but I'm resetting. Hopefully nobody saw that. I thought I had set it for
So
track
we passed
real
that
world
S97
time, but
airport.
but apparently I had not.
Mm-hmm.
S97. Yeah, I think we have.
Yeah, I'm just passing it right now.
Kind of on this loop
That's a cave
heading
strip over there.
south. So I think we are here, kind of getting ready to turn. It'll turn pretty well south, and we should have, yeah, about 19
We're pretty
miles.
much at the point now we'll follow this river south before we hit that other dam and then go north.
Then again, we have the VOR tuned just to double check ourselves, and once that starts to line up, we'll know we're
Yep, last river bend.
taking our final turn. Here we go. Yep, last bend coming on down. So we should have probably right over the top of S97. Darn it, that's kind of what's happened to me the last few times I've tried to pick up the airfields just to kind of have a look at them, maybe come back later to fly into them, but yeah, I'm right over the top of it. So we'll just have to imagine what it looks like. So from here, it's just 20 miles down to the dam, and then from the dam, it's 43-ish miles up to Stehekin. So we're within 60 miles basically of being there, which means we're, I don't know, heck, within 45 minutes or so of being on the ground. Man, that's beautiful. Holy cow. Still hoping to maybe get a sneak peek of a little airfield, but not quite. Let's cheat. Let's look out this way. Well, wherever it is, I don't know. I can't see it. If it's down there, I don't know where it is, but that's okay.
This is pretty cool. I don't think I've ever flown the Columbia before.
Oh yeah, I was going to look and see if I could find that route we flew. It was down south. It was up by down by Portland. Yeah, so we flew to Troutdale, and it was where did we start? We departed out of, gosh, Tri-Cities.
There was a huge glacial lake in Montana. What was it? Millions and millions of years ago, and it broke, and that's what formed a lot of There
That's
are
what.
still boulders from where I live that ended up like in Oregon from the
No
force of
kidding.
that rupture of that.
Nice.
Damn.
Can you imagine? Yeah.
Darn global
Enough
warming.
force to move thousands of pounds of something 300 miles away just using water.
There's a place up there now. It's called Quake Lake, and it was a same type of deal. It wasn't a glacier, but they had an earthquake, and a part of the mountainside slid down in and blocked the, I don't remember which little river it was. And anyway, created a whole new lake. It's kind of a cool area too. But yeah, just that is in and of itself is unbelievable how much stuff moved. But yeah, what you're saying is exactly right. To have something that can push a boulder clear the heck like 3 states away, that's unbelievable.
I think it's, somebody theorized that no matter where you were on the planet, you could hear that thing go.
Oh, I bet.
I can't believe that.
I don't know.
Actually caused the Earth to wobble.
All right, so they have all these like little locks and stuff. That's one thing I have noticed about.
That's really cool too. If I go hiking up in the mountains up here, you'll find like old, what do you call that? Calcium, limestone. With the like arthropod, skeletons in it.
Oh yeah.
It's like this was an ocean.
There we go. All right, so we said 20 miles. I didn't set my timer here, but that's okay. We should be able to. Again, I think it's going to be a fairly obvious right-hand turn, and we have the VOR set, so we shouldn't. Even me, it's going to be tough to miss. So Stehekin 1,230 is the airport elevation. So as we kind of make our approach in, I think we're going to try to get down to around 1,500, 2,000 feet
You guys
or
ever
so.
been to the that air museum in Seattle?
Yeah,
Can't say that I have.
I've never been. I want to visit Seattle. I've never been up in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I've been to Vancouver a bunch, but never crossed the border.
All right, huh?
Spent Christmas in Seattle on an overnight 4 years ago.
Actually, now that I think about it, that's a complete lie. I did go to Vancouver once and drove from Vancouver to Utah. So
Oh wow.
I went through Washington.
Last time I was in Seattle, I didn't have time. I didn't want to drag my lady to go to an airplane museum either. I think I'd never hear the end of that. But they have like everything there. At least one of everything.
That's awesome.
Every plane Boeing's ever made, just about every U.S. military plane. Some of the Russians.
Yeah, I imagine they have a very good representation of Boeing planes up there, don't they?
Actually, it's the
Yeah.
world's largest private collection. I wonder, maybe Smithsonian has more? One of my girlfriend's coworkers went to the have the Smithsonian hangars somewhere in Maryland. So they went out there and just took a ton of pictures. It was so cool. They have that that German jet thing with the flying wing.
I see the Lake Shellen airport down there. I see the little.
Yep, my VOR is moving a little bit here, so my needle is telling me we're getting close. This might be potentially it. In fact, I think I might, let's just
Well, I see
look.
that, like Mike said, I see that airport.
I see
That's good
you up
enough for
ahead
me.
there, Brant, and I think that's where you need to make the turn into that.
Yes, sir.
All right, we are turning right. Last 43 miles, boys.
I feel like
There's
we've
the
been
airport.
43 miles away for the past 20 minutes. We're just doing one very big DME curve around it.
I'm turning into a liar here. I'm just like, just another 40 minutes. Another 20 minutes twice.
Well, it's been a lot of fun having you guys along. It definitely is better with friends.
Glad to be here.
Oh yeah, it's good times.
So Lake Chellen, I believe. And
There's actually out near Vancouver, there's several Canadian musicians that have all got their pilot's license, and they all fly little bush planes together.
Really?
Titanium Druid, yeah, man.
Young has an Air Force?
I would say start small with these GA aircraft and just keep practicing.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems to be the thing to do in Canada.
I
guess,
guarantee you
if you're
that there is
musician,
a
once you're not
probably a
popular
YouTube
anymore,
video on whatever plane you're
get
flying
yourself a
that
pilot's license.
you can watch and learn also. You know, one a night or whatever.
Yeah,
But
that sounds
it's
cool.
just
though,
a matter
but
of flying and
unfortunately in
having
America,
fun and
I
not
don't
being
Harrison
afraid to
Ford's done
make
much
mistakes.
for the celebrity pilot.
That's for sure. You saw. I mean, you've seen. If you watch this, I've already
You
made
land on one
2
wrong
navigational
runway.
mistakes on what should have been the easiest leg
It
of
wasn't
the
a runway,
trip so
bro.
far. And if you go back and look at, I archive my
Landed on taxiway
streams
Charlie
on YouTube. If you search Melvin Leroy
and
YouTube,
had to
you'll
go
see
over a 7.3 to do so.
plenty
It's a lot of
plenty of
judgment calls.
mistakes. So it's just about having fun, man. And yeah, so hopefully we'll see you again, and at some point in time, if you want to hop
Kinda
in
funny if
and
you ever
fly
hear
with
the,
us, that'd be awesome.
voice recording of the AT.
Yeah, I've listened to the ATC for it.
Yep.
Where are you
All
parking
these
today?
guys
Oh,
can
just
attest,
continue on
'cause
Charlie.
everybody here at some point in time has been a beginner at this and has not felt too good about their skills, and that's okay. I mean, you just work through it. It just takes hours. You just work through it. But if you are patient, like Kenny is saying, you just enjoy the process. Just enjoy the learning curve. The more you learn, the more real it is, and the more you enjoy it, I think. Yeah, and that's I still fly lots and lots of patterns. In fact, when I get a new airplane, I don't care what it is. That's the first thing I do is I do pattern work. I had the 727 out at Denver International offline, just flying patterns, just learning how the aircraft works, learning how to make it go where you want it to go, and learning what it feels like by hand. You know, don't jump into the autopilot too soon. Get used to how the plane flies, how it reacts to your input controls. I mean, obviously you don't have you don't have the benefit of feeling the airplane like you would if you were in it for real, but you do kind of have a virtual feel for it. You know, how fast does it react, how fast does it turn, how fast does it climb and descend, and you know, all that stuff. It's a lot of fun. And then hang out with people that know more than you. That's why I like this virtual USA Flying Club. That's why I follow the people I follow, is most of them are real pilots and I'm not. And so they give me advice on things that I should be doing and ways that you should really do it, and that just helps the overall immersion factor.
Are you guys listening to his stream as well, or do you have him muted?
I am.
Because he cuts in for like 2 words and then disappears.
No, weird. Yeah, the smart money is having me muted on stream, so you don't have to hear all this. But no, I'm just kidding. You guys are coming across on stream also. I hope you realize that.
Yep.
I'm at 3,500. I really think that I need to be, what was I saying, about 3,000-ish as we get closer to Stehekin. 43 nautical miles, so I was thinking somewhere in that 25 to 30 minute range we'd be getting close. Just curious if I leave it here long enough, if I'll see the guy behind me buzz by. Must not do that. That's okay. That flyby camera is pretty cool though. I like it. Boy, this is turning into some steep
This is
country.
looking like a pretty fun approach. So
Yeah. What a place. I do remember now that I was kind of looking at some of the messages on Discord. Slant Alpha Adventure did come up here. I remember his stream chilling on Lake Chelan. He said he flew past Stehekin State. And I remember that stream now. That was, yeah, this is a heck of a place to go. I don't remember what he was doing, and maybe he might have been in his citation. But yeah, what a place! Holy cow!
Don't mind me being so quiet. I'm just eating on a shrimp po' boy.
Oh,
That sounds yummy.
the Halo Spartans
Did you make it or?
checking in. Hello, hello,
No,
hello.
my parents brought it back from me because they went out to eat.
Welcome to Prop Culture, and welcome to the
That's pretty nice.
incredible Washington State area. We are heading up Lake Chelan to Stehekin State, 6 Sierra Niner, and this is all part of a series called Nowhere Fast. We departed earlier today from a place in Idaho called Big Island, and then we flew to an airstrip called Tightcliff, which is in
How big is
Washington.
this darn reservoir?
And now we're on our way to Stehekin State. And oh, nice. So you are familiar with this area, I would imagine. We're trying to make it up to Linden because we have an event coming up called the Bush League Backcountry Fly-In. We do that first Monday of every month. And for this particular fly-in, I wanted to, instead of using my traditional Prop Strike 170 mod, which is an awesome plane and I love it, I thought I would hook up a Bush mod on the 152 and see how it did. But still need to get there, and this has been part of it. I've just sort of plotted a little course through, well, from central Wyoming through Montana, kind of the southwestern part of Montana, up into, well, I don't need to describe it, I can show it to you. This is where we've been. We started by climbing way up high to Kinky Creek. That was an 8,800 foot airstrip up in the Wind River Mountains of Wyoming. Then we hit Metzel Creek. That's just over there by Yellowstone, and that was where we spent
Pretty
the
bad
night.
place to have your engine go out, though.
Then we went the second day from Metzel to Lewis and Clark in Idaho, and then finished that second day at Big Island, camped out there. And then today, like I say, we went from Big Island up to Tightcliff and then into Stehekin State. So we're getting close. The last little leg we have to do is from Stehekin to Linden, and I'm going to do that tomorrow. I was going to do that on Monday as a prep for the Bush League fly-in, but I don't think I'm going to be done with work in time to actually make it from Stehekin up to Linden and then join the flight. So I want to get there tomorrow so that I'm ready to rock and roll on Monday. But yeah, that's kind of what we've got going on, and it's been a lot of fun. I've had some folks from the Virtual USA Flying Club that have tagged along with us. There behind us there you can see the little white lights, and they've been providing the in-flight entertainment for the past 3 hours and 31 minutes. Okay, I'm seeing 12 minutes on my timer. And again, we were estimating 25-ish minutes, so we're about halfway up the lake here, I think. And it's just getting steeper and more beautiful, but more challenging the farther we get. I do see the peaks around. There's some 8,000, 9,000 peaks, 9,000 foot peaks, 8,700. This is this called the Sawtooth Wilderness Area? Is that kind of where we're at? Do you guys know? Hit Shift F4 and then use the arrow keys. Well, I have this set right here, buddy. I got your Shift F4 right here, mister. beautiful. Let's look behind us from the outside. I'm afraid to do that because I have a tendency to careen towards mountains when I do that. There we go. There's the boys bringing up the rear. You'll be happy to know downwind that they have successfully navigated me past a couple of errors that I was making. So this is kind of the way it goes. Apparently the easier it is to navigate, the worse I do, because this truly has been all follow major rivers and waterways all the way from Tightcliff to Stehekin State, and I've gotten lost like twice. So I don't know. There may not be any hope for me in my pilotage skills. And I made another sketchy approach on top of that. I pay him to say that.
Teamwork makes the dream work, buddy.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Alright, we're down to 3,000. That's as far down as I'm going to go for now. That puts us about 1,800 feet above where we're supposed to be, so a little high as far as like a pattern altitude would go. But we can drop down here a little bit later on. I think approaching the field, I don't know, but it looks to me like we have perhaps a little town of Stehekin, or like a little settlement or something that we can see. But essentially it looks like the lake sort of ends and then it turns into the Stehekin River. So at that point in time, I think I'd probably like to be more like about 2,000 foot. And then, as you saw in the YouTube video, you kind of come around the hill and line up, and you make straight in runway 31. So when we get to the point where the lake becomes the river, we need to make sure we're at 2,000, nice and slow, maybe even fairly well configured for landing. But I think we have at least 10 more minutes before we're there. Getting some stutters here, I don't know. That 99, yeah, so what that tells you is that's the minimum safe elevation. If you were going to fly, let's say you were going to try to fly over this mountain, looks like Bonanza Peak or something, so they give you these blue numbers, and that tells you how high you need to fly to be safely over the top of the terrain. Please correct me, Jet Pilot Cinnamon, and anyone else with real-world flying experience, but that's what I've been taught that means.
Yeah, it's the min safe altitude in that quadrant.
And in fact, I think they throw 400 or 500 feet above the highest element in that space.
Yeah, it's 500 above minimum.
Yep, so this is
1,500 recommended over mountains, right?
Yeah, but for those quadrants, it'll guarantee, I think, 500 feet of clearance above the highest obstacle in that quadrant.
so what he's talking about with quadrant here
I seem to
is
remember
you can
this.
see that these are little squares that are mapped out, and
So much
it's
to
1
know.
degree by 1 degree basically is what this is for latitude and longitude. Actually, no, that's not correct. This is a fourth of that. There's 4 of them in here. But anyway, for this rectangle, if you fly 9,900 feet, you're going to be at least 500 feet above the highest point anywhere in here. So each one of these little quadrants is going to have that number. And so yeah, Titanium Druid, now is the time to ask, because we've got like 4 real world pilots on the voice chat with us right now. So if you want to learn charts, today's your lucky day.
Do you like to use Sky Vector for your sectionals?
Yep. At least when I'm on the sim.
Oh,
Yeah, you can't beat free, right, guys?
yeah, but what I really like about it is it embeds the segments onto the map.
Yep.
TFRs.
Yeah, and I have all those turned off right now just because it's the weather. I think out here is kind of covers stuff up. But yeah, you're right. It's an amazing free tool. It's really an awesome tool. All right, who do we have here? I may mess up the name there. Asol Lemonade. Thanks for the follow, whoever that was. Welcome to Prop Culture. Please tell me in the chat how to pronounce your name. I don't want to mess it up, but I appreciate you coming along and flying with us and hanging out. It's been a fun trip so far, and as always, the funnest part is yet to come here in about the next, I would say, 10 minutes or so. We're going to be trying to land in Stehekin State. So welcome. There's me, and there's at least 2 other guys behind me. I haven't been paying too close of attention, but we're having some fun here in the mountains of Washington.
The third one's back there.
All right. Oh yeah, I'm seeing. I haven't looked at Fantastic. I didn't know if we had picked up any more than the 3 that we have. The 4 amigos that have started and have been meandering up down the river, I guess. This would technically be downstream. But yeah, we're trying to get, when the lake ends and it turns into the Stehekin River, that's when we need to be really getting serious about this approach. I think that puts us within a mile or 2 of the airstrip. So my plan is to try to be down around 2,000 with a couple of notches of flaps in, nice and slow, because we have to basically maneuver around the terrain. There's going to be a little hill off of our left-hand side, and we need to negotiate that.
For you guys behind me, you got to be careful. If you get too close, we're starting to get pretty close to the airport.
Yeah,
I'm backing off.
Yeah, I'm going to start slowing down myself here, guys. I think we're getting there. Yeah, but I think I see where the...
Yeah, I'm number 4 here, it looks like, so I'll
I think
just
that
circle
looks
the
to
lake.
me like it's turning into a little bit of a river up there. So let's get down. Let's get ourselves down to...
Maintain visual separation.
Yeah, to where we want to be. We're a bit high here, but we'll slow down. We'll put a notch of flaps in. Try to fight that nose coming up. Yeah, I think we're getting pretty close. I think 70 is going to be pretty good for now until we have the field in sight. I'm going to try to maintain about 70 knots until I have the field.
Alright, I'm gonna need another notch of flaps then.
You guys in those souped up Skyhawks anyway. All
Alright,
right.
I backed it off to about 75 now.
Okay, yep. Yeah, we don't need to get too slow quite yet, but once we get up here to where the river starts, then I think can't be more, like I say, more than a mile or two away. So we'll have to start thinking about that. And again, there's this little bit of a terrain feature here, this hillside that we have to come in kind of from the river, and then we just make a little bit of a left-hand turn. I think I'm almost seeing the field right there. Stehekin State traffic, November 11816. We're at the end of the lake. We're going to be approaching straight in, runway 3, run full stop, Stehekin State. All right, I'm going to put the speed brakes on, boys. Here we go.
Have your spoilers armed?
A-firm. On the localizer.
Troubleshoot.
Okay, so I'd like to... I'm going to throw a second notch of flaps in here. I'd like to be at about about 60 or so, I think. So there's the airfield, that little light brown strip ahead of us. Boy, I'm really stuttery on the frames now for some reason. That's not a good time for that to happen. I wonder why. Whoa. Never had this problem before in the Mountain Zoo. This could be interesting. Hopefully that'll smooth out a little bit. There we go. And we'll see if we can make it look anything like the YouTube video. Chances of that happening are not great. We're 1,000 above right now. Let's try to bring it down. Actually, a little more than 1,000 above. 1,230 is our elevation that we're shooting for. Final notch of flaps. Yep, we are, even though we have the weather set for clear, I do feel like I'm being pushed a little to the right, so it is simulating a little bit of that crosswind, I think, which is cool. About 800 feet. Yep, I'm definitely getting shoved to the right just a little bit. All right, here we go. I've got a glare on my windshield right in the worst spot. I don't know if that's just glare or if that's part of the hill or what.
Did you guys all load scenery for this?
No, I've got just the base X-Plane 11 sim scenery.
Yeah, because what I'm seeing is he's nowhere near the airport.
Alright, so I think I have some trees to get over here.
No,
But I think we're doing
both right on it, I believe.
We're doing alright. We're doing alright. We're a little high, but I think we're gonna be fine. Yeah, a little bit higher than I would like to have been, but I I think we're going to be okay.
I am too close. Damn. Unless you're gonna be able to pull off quick, you think?
Yeah, I'll pull off. Oh, I did bounce it. Am I still bouncing? What am I doing here? That was a little bit of a bouncer.
Stehekin traffic, Cessna 124 Mike Charlie's 1 mile final, straight in. Stehekin.
And traffic 11816, we're clear of the runway. Yeah, I think I bounced that a few times there. I'm going to have to watch maybe the replay afterwards, but it felt like I was doing a little bit of bouncing down the runway. Let's not worry about that right now, though. Let's get camera view set up. Let's see how our friends do coming in. There we go. Kitty Monster predicted negative 500. 5 bounces was pretty
Stehekin traffic,
was
Skyhawk,
closer.
Golf Victor Charlie Foxtrot. Final for runway 31. So you can.
Ooh, that looked very smooth, very smooth. Clear the runway in the bushes. Yeah, I kind of am.
Clear the runway.
I definitely am. Nicely done, nicely done.
That was a lot better than the first one.
Yeah, guys, so I have this scenery. I've built this scenery, but what I need to do is get with you guys ahead of time because I tried to share it with Mike, and it ended up not working because we need the ortho tiles as well for it to work. But I'm happy to share this stuff with you guys.
Right on.
Here comes number 2. So let's just take a bird's eye view of...
Just never bothered with Washington scenery.
Yeah. So that's what it looks like. That's not half bad, I don't think. I had fun with this one. It was obviously a very,
north
very...
of here, though, I got it covered.
Yeah. A very beautiful place to work, obviously. So yeah, that was quite a bit of fun. But
I see you in there, Charlie Fox.
all right. We're just going to kind of look down the runway here and...
Well, it's a fun little approach.
All right, so let me do this. I'm going to set my brakes. And I do think I'm going to go ahead and shut it down here. Turn all this stuff off. Turn my air back off.
There's the third one on the ground.
Oh, darn it. I missed it. Guys, I'm sorry. Where are you? Yes, indeed. Dang it. I was looking at the guy with the light coming in. Well, shoot.
Stehekin traffic, Golf Victor Charlie Foxtrot, clear of runway 31 Stehekin.
There's the prop strike tail dragger, although my CSL renders him as a tricycle gear, unfortunately. All right, where was I? Yeah, I was going to shut down. Generator off.
No, I am tricycle.
Oh, okay. It looks like you're a tail dragger with my CSL file, but yeah, I understand. All right, let's come back out here and let's watch. We should have one more guy coming in here. There we go. We'll just take a look here, and yeah, we'll call it a day. That was a great day. A lot of fun. The last landing for me was probably the worst I've had so far, but still wasn't terrible. Ooh, I'm getting to contact me from my wife. So this is perfect timing. Thanks, Downwind. I appreciate that. This is your doing, man. This is all your lessons, your scenery lessons that you've taught me. Here we go. These guys, of course, they're landing a little different. I mean, I don't know what the orientation is with the default runway, but that looks like another nice and smooth one. Definitely not the bouncer that I had.
All right, I'm clear of the runway.
Well done, gentlemen. Well done.
Done it all.
I was pretty happy with that one. It's at 107 feet per minute at 55 knots.
That was pretty
Nice.
good job. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to call it good here, and I appreciate you flying with me. I tell you what, I'll reach out to you again tomorrow. I'm not sure what time I'm going to fly. Probably be kind of mid-afternoon, maybe early evening my time. So, but if you want to make that last leg from Stehekin up into Linden, shoot, I'd love to have you along. I'll let you know when we do it.
I will likely be watching the Vikings game, but we'll see what time it ends up being.
Sounds good. You guys take care. We'll catch you
You a
next
Vikes
time.
fan?
Take
You
it easy,
too.
Yeah,
Brant.
take care, bud.
All right, so for me, yeah, that's it. And appreciate everybody who came along. A lot of new folks stopped by as well. Appreciate the new follows and everybody coming in here. And yeah, if you punch that little heart there and follow along, you'll get the notification next time I'm streaming. Normally I'm a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday guy, but since I've been on Christmas break, I've had a chance to stream a few different days, and of course, every now and again there's some special events like some Friday night ops or maybe this Monday Bush League thing that we'll stream as well. But Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is the normal routine, and would love to have you back to participate. But until then, yeah, the next thing coming up on the stream would be like I say tomorrow here to Linden, and then Monday we will be going with the Bush League. The January Bush League fly-in, so that'll be a lot of fun. And then coming up after that, it's a little bit of an unknown. I am going to do the BVA regional circuit on Tuesday. Thursday, I think I have some more backcountry scenery testing on the docket, and then Saturday the 11th, I'll be back in the DC-8 doing leg 2 of the Canadian Pacific Historic Flight Route. So that's kind of your next week or so, and I would love to, like I say, love to have you along for any of that. But in the meantime, I am out of here, guys. I'll be looking for you on the TCAS, and until next time, take care. God bless.